All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I am doing good. Still recovering from the time zone difference, it seems. Still a little bit jet lagged there. Had trouble getting up again this morning. But anyways, we're here, and we are in the post-liberation phase of the market. I don't know. It's interesting out there. I don't know what to say. It's hard to comment on anything because, I just want to talk stocks, but stocks and politics are deeply intertwined this morning, as they have been for a while. So it's a tough thing to know what to say and what not to say. So.
Yeah. Well, we could stick to the numbers, I'll tell you that much. And right now, here's what the numbers show. Everything in the red. Just a concern over tariffs, over consumer spending. We have job numbers coming out on Friday. I mean, you name it. It is all on the red side of things, right? So it's just people are concerned. There's some industries that are not, for example, I'll give you a great example, automakers, right? They're not being hit with a lot of tariff increase, right? But just the sentiment alone that people are not going to spend money because the cost might rise elsewhere is bringing them down, right? So it's just across the board. There is some pain that we're feeling here, and obviously you're seeing some of this. As for us day traders, don't look at your 401k today, right? We'll leave that aside. But as day traders, today will be an exciting day, right? We're going to get the volatility we need. We're going to get movement. There should be some great stuff for us to trade out there. But yeah, it's everything in the red this morning, and we'll see how it continues. So if you were uncertain before, even more uncertainty now as far as where's the bottom here. A lot of stocks are actually, at a good price. You start seeing these prices, they look good, but when does the shoe stop dropping is what probably swing traders are going to be thinking about. Hey, do I get in here long in NVIDIA? What is NVIDIA at? At 104, that seems like a great price for 6 months down the line. But are we going down to 95, 90? So we just, that's that part we don't know. But should be a lot of fun for us day traders. We should get some volatility. I'm hoping it's not a choppy day and there's some continuation for us here, but we will sure find out. Peter, U.S. economic calendar today. You have some stuff on here?
Yeah, and I'm not sure how relevant this is going to be on a day like today when, like you said, the talk is all about tariffs. But, the business continues, I guess. Jobless claims came out, both initial and continuing, both pretty much on target. Interesting, the initial jobless claims a little bit lower this month by about 9,000, so not significant, while as the continuing jobless claims is higher. So, but again, within the range of variability, right? One number I didn't put up here, interestingly, was the trade balance, U.S. trade balance. It came out slightly worse than expected, if you consider the number worse. Negative 122.7 billion versus about negative 122.2 billion. So not a significant swing, but it still shows the trade balances to imports, not exports for the U.S. So that is not, I suppose, a significant surprise to anybody. Like you said, news is all on tariffs. I mean, there's no economic event for that, although it is the economic event that is dominating. I mean, world markets had an immediate impact. Global markets are down significantly. European markets down about 3%. The Japanese market down a little over 4%. Obviously, the U.S. markets, as we're seeing, down about 3.5 to 4%. So yeah, significant drop across the board everywhere. Seeing this U.S. tariff regime, having that type of impact on global markets. Now, wherever something is down, there's something else is up. The bond markets are up a little bit, so people trying to find safe haven in boring assets, I guess. Bonds are not usually the most exciting place, but we always have to remember that the bond market is still I can't remember the number. It's 3 to 4 times the size of the stock market. So we focus here on stocks, but there's a lot more money moving around in the bond market. So that does have a significant impact. All right. We need to talk individual stock offerings. I got to tell you, we stayed late into the chat room last night. Carlos, maybe we should have done a live YouTube broadcast, but we didn't. Not knowing when things were going to be announced exactly, I guess. But I got a great trade on Tesla. I got to say, I still, it was good. I just waited for the pop up, and then I shorted it and got a good $20 drop. So it really moved quite well right after the close for me, or right after the tariff announcement. And it's funny because we were watching the live broadcast. Not much was happening until Trump brought up his chart. And that seems to be the picture I'm seeing in all the media, of course. Trump in his chart. He's hugging that chart and showing how he perceives that imbalance or the unfairness of the trade tariff regime, and that's of course, the thing upon which a lot of people are focusing. So, but the second that chart came out, Tesla especially got a big drop. And hey, look, it gave me a trade opportunity, and that's what we look for out of these things. Where can I trade it? And as you were pointing out, and Jared was in Engineering the Markets this morning, we just have to wait and watch for the opportunity and not presuppose what's going to happen. Yes, everything is red at the moment. Yes, everything has dropped overnight. But, the big money hasn't weighed in. The markets haven't been open since these announcements. And remember what happened yesterday morning, right? So who knows? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Yesterday we were definitely buying the rumor. Today, are we going to sell that news? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it's again, don't assume you know which direction things are going to go, because it could be painful if you're wrong. I expect there to be some rebalancing out there, which means we may get some sharp and rapid movements at the open, and then things will settle out, and we'll figure out which direction this market actually wants to go. So, for right now, we can only look at the direction things are moving as we're gapping. And Carlos, let's take a look at that gappers list, figure out what we want to focus on.
Absolutely, friends. Here's our gappers list, brought to you by tradingterminal.com. Again, everything on the red. We got somehow TIVC went the wrong way today. Let's go see what's going on here. TIVC, they're actually gapping up this morning, shockingly, 55%. 16 million shares traded. It is a lower flow stock, as you can see here. I think it's under a couple of million shares here only. That's what I'm showing. 16 million traded so far. Hard to borrow. And again, they're rocking today. This is Tivic Health System, or Tivic. Yes, I would say that. Peter, any news on these guys? Why they're heading the other way today?
I really don't know. The last news, not a lot of coverage of Tivic. I mean, it's not one that I've seen on our list before. So, Carlos, I don't see the reason for this. There's got to be one. Somebody knows something. But unfortunately,
they got a nice gap here. I don't know why, but it's a low flow for me, so I won't be watching. And again, we've seen some of these low flow. Also, we had lower flow madness or IPO madness yesterday. If you remember, look at WTF, just slamming back down to $6 from like 18.20 yesterday in the pre-market. And how about NMAX, guys? NMAX also slamming down from 180. This is 180 here at the market open yesterday, all the way down to 46. I think it halted once or twice and slowly just all the way down to 46. That's a $140 drop approximately. I mean, that is just insane, pure madness. So here's the thing.
And it halted 4 times or something on the way down. It was not pretty.
Yeah, out of control. So, speaking of this one here, I won't be watching that one. It's a low flow stock. This is going to be, oh, it just disappeared from our list. It's just not worth it. All right, Peter. I think there's not much in the gap up. So let's go straight to the gap down list this morning, right? And here's basically pick your favorites, right? On a day like today where the markets are kind of pushing everything around, I'm going to be looking at our usual suspects. Obviously, Tesla, Nvidia are going to be on the list today. A bunch of other stuff on here. You got Apple, you got Bitcoin, you name it. It's on the red this morning. So I'm just going from a couple of favorite stocks that we traded well over the last couple of weeks, and that I'm gonna be looking to see what the reaction is gonna be. So I'll go straight to you, Peter. Before I'm not gonna go through this list, right? We're just gonna go through some regular ones. Is there anything that you like? I mean, you kind of know my list: Tesla, Nvidia. We'll look at POTR. By the way, great day yesterday, so that'll be on my list today. Is there anything that you are gonna be focusing on this gap down list?
Well, I mean, I think we have to sort of think about what are the impact of these tariffs. So these tariffs are very wide ranging, right? Trump pretty much announced tariffs on every country that the U.S. does business with, and with a focus on those where he and his administration feel there's the greatest imbalance. So, related to that, you've got to think about then which companies are most exposed to which countries have the business model that is most exposed to international markets and international manufacturing. So, for instance, I'm not surprised to see Nike at the top of the list, right? U.S. company, manufactures primarily, well, I think exclusively overseas, sells internationally to a global market. They're going to be deeply impacted by this, right? Because both, being U.S. based, there's going to be retaliatory tariffs, of course, from all these countries, plus the direct impact of the tariffs on all of their manufacturing and distribution. Walmart, another one that's being impacted, right? They largely import most of their low cost goods from other countries. And some of the countries, of course, that are more impacted. China was at the top of the list, Vietnam being deeply impacted, Korea was on the list. So, all of those places that there's usually a lot of reliance for manufacturing or international imports. I think we've got to just think about those. The chip sector is one that I do think is also at risk. It's a little unclear what the impact is going to be, but I think universal agreement there is going to be one. So in this case, I think we might want to look at which chip companies are are going to be least able to handle a rapid change in sort of their price model and their tariffs. And I think, normally you guys know I'm always defaulting back to Nvidia and AMD. In this case, I think AMD might be interesting. Nvidia might be less interesting today, and companies like Micron might pick up the slack a little bit. SMCI, I think they're at high risk. I mean, they're down 9%, which is a little more than some of the others today. I just feel that those companies that are less well positioned, Nvidia having such a dominant market position, they have a better chance to influence as well as to sort of survive because they're going to retain their demand. Whereas I think Micron and SMCI, just as two examples, I think are going to be harder placed. So that's just my opinion. Who knows? Amazon might be another good target. As we all know, Amazon does significant importing and redistribution of products. I mean, they don't make anything, do they, right? They're just selling other products. And if their value proposition is at getting low cost goods right to your door, well, perceptively those goods are going to be of less, they're going to be not, how do I say that? Less low cost? That doesn't feel right. Anyways, they won't be as cheap. But, they're not alone. Of course, that, the cost of goods are going to go up everywhere. So, it remains to be seen exactly what that impact is going to be to them or to anybody for that matter. So anyways, Carlos, again, you could pretty much look at anything, but my thoughts are going to that, right? Who's most impacted Where is there going to be most nervousness? Like where is there least certainty? That's also an area where you can take trading opportunity, especially over the next couple of days as it starts to settle out. Of course, expect what we're going to hear over the next little while. A little more details out of the White House, plus a little more in terms of the retaliation from other countries. I expect that the big trading partners, in this case for the U.S., the biggest trading partners that we've been focused on so far, of course, are China, Canada, and Mexico. We're going to hear what their responses are from a country perspective. But, based on how wide-ranging this was, I think there's also going to be focus on the countries like I mentioned, like South Korea, like Vietnam, like some of the other trading partners out there. I mean, and the list goes on, let alone the whole European Union, which, last time they came out of their corner fighting. So, yeah, it'll be, I don't know, it'll be interesting. And there's a Chinese proverb that says, "May you live in interesting times." I think it's a curse. Here we are. Times are certainly interesting.
Yes, they sure are. One of the silver linings that we heard this morning was at least the EU, they're going to wait. They're not going to just automatically put, retaliate on taxes. They want to sit down at the negotiation table. So they're kind of starting to learn how Trump works a little bit. They're like, we're not going to do anything until we sit down and negotiate. And now if the negotiations fail, then they'll retaliate with tariffs. So at least a good sign. It's kind of like what the president of Mexico did, which, again, just kind of wait, sit, and don't react too quickly. So that's good before anybody just goes crazy. So hopefully that's the route that everybody takes. I'm sure it's not the case, but that's the best thing for everyone. All right, let's take a look here, guys. Yep.
We haven't been as balanced here in Canada, have we? So Mike is still in Canada after our Vancouver summit. And I guess he went to a liquor store. I don't know if it was in the greater Vancouver area or up in Whistler, but he experienced firsthand some of what I was talking about the other day. And is this the right screen? Hold on. Yeah, here we go. He found this. He went to buy, or at least he saw the American whiskey shelves, and this is what you find in Canada. This is it just says American whiskey pulled. Jack Daniels, all pulled off the shelf, and you just get a sign, not subtly, telling you buy Canadian instead. So it's yeah.
Yeah, interesting, man. We're still drinking Grey Goose over here. It's okay. So, all right, friends, we don't care. We love the Canadians, man, and it's just it's a little. I get it. I get what's happening.
Grey Goose, but, is that Canadian? I always thought that was
absolutely. I thought it was Canadian. No, Grey Goose is from Canada. Somebody gave me a big bottle. I think it was Grey Goose, but one of those things were from Canada. It was actually pretty good. But yeah, let's see how it goes, guys. One thing for sure is this gappers list looking amazing French. For us. It is French. Oh, okay, I thought it was Canadian with the goose there. But yeah, friends, this gappers list is massive. We're gonna find some things to look at and trade here. There will be some opportunities. Francis in chat put a great meme up. I bought the dip and the dip keeps dipping. So you got to be careful. Like you can't have a bias. We just have to play. We just have to play the price action, guys. That's the most important thing. So be careful with the buys. Definitely play the price action. All right, let's look at the first one. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, just in general, that's a good point, right? So I was pointing out, for instance, how SMCI is down 9%. Nvidia down 6%. Tesla, big overnight move down 6.5%. Yes, down big, but these big downward gaps, as you point out, Carlos, can sometimes get a bounce. Like imagine if on Tesla, you could get a 4% bounce or 3 even, and that's a $10 move up. So that would be a good move, and it would still be in the red. So yeah, don't presuppose that just because it's all red at the moment that it's going to necessarily continue that way for your next trade.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, look at the first one out here is going to be Nike. Nike taking a really big hit, but overall, Nike has not been doing well. Even after their earnings, we did that live a couple of weeks back, and they just been getting crushed here. So they're leading the way down 13% today, as you can see on here. Today will be a day where Nike will be on my list. I mean, it just seems like it's trading very well in the pre-market. We're getting tons of volume. So yeah, I'm gonna have this one today. Normally I skip Nike, guys, we don't like the way this one trades, but there's something about it today. I mean, the way it's flushing here, 2.1 million shares traded, down 13%. It looks very interesting and continuing to make just market lows here. This pre-market action is just nonstop. So I really like this one. Will be on my list today as far as that goes. Peter, overall, is there anything else that's hurting Nike this morning?
I mean, there's no specific news on Nike other than, like I said, because of these tariffs that are targeting increased tariffs, I guess, because it was like 10% across the board and then increased tariffs on some countries. The countries that are being impacted are those that Nike either sells to significantly or manufactures from. So yeah, I think that's why they seem to be at the top of this gap list. But to your point, Carlos, you're right. I mean, they've struggled. You look at that daily chart, coming from a high last year of like $100. I mean, they've dropped half their value, actually more. I guess they sort of peaked around 120. So yeah, it's just continuing bad news for Nike.
Yeah, it's definitely not good for them. So, but again, just something different about their pre-market today. It's just, it looks good. It looks really good. Normally doesn't look that great. So we'll have it on our list. All right, guys, you can always get this list from tradingterminal.com. You can head on over there. You got these scanners and other ones. When the market opens, you can see what's moving. My favorite ones are usually the turbo breakup and turbo breakdown. They help me identify big volume when we're seeing drops for or pops for that 5-minute ORB.
Lululemon in that same space is one doesn't look as interesting pre-market, but it is down almost 15%. And I would argue this is a company that's just caught in the crossfire, right? Like nobody's targeting Lululemon, but Canada being named as one of the worst offenders of trade, the tariff imbalance by the Trump government. Yeah, I mean Lulu's it's a Canadian, Canadian company. Which relies on the U.S. significantly for its sales. So tariffs are definitely going to have an impact. But, well, I mean, I guess they got to have an impact. I don't know. Like, it's sort of a luxury brand, right? A little bit. I mean, I don't think it's formally considered a luxury brand, but I consider it that because freaking hell, have you ever seen how expensive their stuff is? Anyways. But, yeah, I think they're going to, again, caught in the crossfire. Not specifically targeted, but definitely going to be deeply impacted.
Hey, if you're gonna sweat, why not do it in $100 pair of shorts? Why not? Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't like it as much. It is getting hurt quite a bit here. Again, very similar to Nike. You look at both of these stocks, even on the daily, they have the same drop, just overall, but Nike obviously much better as far as volume this morning. NVIS is also down here today. This is Nivis Group. I'm not going to watch this one. Their volume, even today when everybody's getting probably higher volume than usual, the volume is horrible on this one. So I'm going to pass over this one. We're going to have better things to look at here. Like let's look at crypto and Bitcoin. So we have, I know Hood is, it does more than that, but for the most part, they move very well with the crypto stocks here. So they're down 11%, 1.8 million shares traded. We're getting a little bit of movement here, and across the board you have Mara, you have CLSK. I mean, you name it, they're all down this morning, but Hood seems to be the one leading the way as far as volume. Coin's volume lately has really dropped. Like if you've been looking at their daily, here we had a nice little stretch where we had a couple of days where they popped up pretty nicely, and then their volume has been tapering off quite a bit. So that's creating a pretty large spread. It just hasn't been great. So won't be on my list, but I do like Hood out of all of these, even including Mara, who only has 700,000. And that might increase as we move along here in this pre-market session. I think Hood is the one to go with, man. So I'm going to put this one on my list here. It will be on my main list. I don't want to be too tech heavy, but of course we're going to be watching all of the Max 7s and seeing where the volume is going to be coming out of that. So what's your thoughts on Hood and the crypto stocks, Peter?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the trading volume has been down. The price, the movement has just been a little anemic. It's not been a great sector to trade. Hood, again, it's much more than just a crypto stock because I think they've got that diversified business model. They have been trading a little bit better. Again, not great for the company, but what is doing great out there these days. So yeah, I think it absolutely is in play, Carlos. And you're right. Looking at it this morning, I mean, very consistent move down since about the markets opened here at like 4 a.m. Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. So I don't know whether that's going to continue when the market opens or not, but it looked great right now.
Yeah, I'm going to add on the list here. We'll see how that continues. And I'm just going to try to go by sectors here. The next one I see, all right, so we cover, I see Lyft on here. Where's Uber? I do see Lyft on the list. Let's see what's that all about. Oh no, they don't look good at all. They're down 10%. Their dailies all over the place. But yeah, I don't like Lyft. Normally Uber trades a little bit better, so that's the one I will go with. But they don't seem to be even getting a lot of volume, so not really in play this morning. So we'll leave that alone. All right, I'm here reading some of the messages on YouTube, and Big Mama Bulls says, love starting the pre-market show with Bear with Traders. I've read Andrew's book and watched all the videos. Can't wait to join the real-time classes soon. Grateful for this awesome community. Love it. Thank you for the love and message there. But I had to read your message because your username, Big Mama Bulls, is pretty catchy. So I like that. I had to read it. There you go. All right.
Big Mama Bull's not having a good morning, I guess, if
Yeah,
if you're thinking bullish.
that's true. That's true. All right, guys. We can't skip this, right? We talked a little bit about NVIDIA and other semiconductors, Peter. I do see TSM on here as well this morning, and they're dropping quite a bit. So again, all these semis with all the policies passing will be in play. Even MU could be interesting today, given how things are moving here. So I'm obviously going to watch NVIDIA, right? So let's start there. We'll put NVIDIA on the list. We're obviously going to watch Tesla. I mean, this thing has been providing us just so much opportunities, right? Took a bit yesterday to get going. Finally, everything started going northeast. But man, it did give us a hard struggle at the open to get going here. So those are my two right now, Peter. NVIDIA and Tesla when it comes to the Max 7. What do you like this morning as far as those goes?
I think I'm going to be watching Amazon. I like Amazon. I think the uncertainty is greater on Amazon. The other one that has often been bucking the trend here is Apple. And I don't know what Apple's going to do today, frankly. I mean, it is down with the rest of the market. So today it's certainly not immune. But it has been going up while the market's been going down. It's been zigging while the market's been zagging. So, I think it might be interesting to keep an eye on it just to see if it moves differently, because I expect a lot of stuff to be moving sort of with the market. So Amazon and Apple are going to be on my list. The other one that caught my eye, and I'm not sure what to do with it, to be honest, was I noticed both Lyft and Uber were on our list, and I'm maybe I don't understand their business as well as I thought, but like I would have thought they would have been more isolated or insulated from these tariffs, being that they don't export or import anything, do they? I mean, they sell a service. It's always done in country. They just export profits back to the U.S. So I would have thought they'd be pretty immune, but I noticed they're down. Lyft is down like 10%, and I think Uber was down about 7% when I was last looking. So I find that interesting.
They're going to get hurt, Peter. I mean, what did you take to go to the airport on this travel trip?
Yeah, no, I mean, I used an Uber for sure,
right?
But
so as these consumer sentiments get worse and worse,
maybe
companies are not going to be shipping you all over the place. They're gonna hold off and say, hey, we got to cut spending, right? We saw this in COVID as well. Travel stopped, everything slowed down. This is why you see the airlines taking a bit of a hit. Like everything really slows down. Tourism, like there's rumors that there's talks people don't want to come to the U.S. on their trip. They rather go local, right? What you see in probably Canadians are doing that, right? It hurts. It's going to hurt. Yeah.
In the month of February, Canadian travel was down 70% to the U.S. compared to previous years. So yeah there's certainly that.
We'll give you an example of the richest person I know, Andrew, right? Andrew says himself has no money issues, but when things are like this, when the sentiment is bad, when your 401k is down, when this is happening, you just don't feel like spending money, So it's just it's kind of what happens. And Lyft, if you're not, going out to the clubs and going out to the airport and all these trips, they're going to take a hit. There's no question. Demand is going to come down here a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Out of all of them, I don't like them as much, though. Lyft is the one down 10%, and I really don't like this stock, guys. I think it's traced so bad. Maybe today could be the day. Uber, at times, it's a little bit better. And even then, unless there's a lot of comments on YouTube. This is good. I got to bring this up. Comments on YouTube says, please tell this to my wife. She keeps spending. I understand, man. And maybe you could tell it to my wife. I'll tell it to yours. Wives keep spending. Yeah, I agree. Those boxes from Amazon keep coming.
It's funny, eh? Like that's sort of the I don't know, traditional, stereotypical, whatever comment. I always got to give my wife credit because she is not a spender. I'm the spender of the family. She's always got to worry about me, and even I don't buy that much. But when I do, I buy like big ticket items, right? It drives her nuts.
Yeah.
But she hates spending money. She wants to stuff it in the mattress and just keep it there. So, yeah, I'm pretty lucky on that front. I always have to convince her to go buy things. So.
Yeah. Carlos, you're begging for an email from all the wives here. Oh man, yeah. No, it's true. Sometimes it's the other way around. In my family, she's the one that spends. I don't spend as much. If I do, it's usually very high price, and I probably match all the little boxes she buys, right? But yeah, it's she does all the shopping. All right, let's see what else, friends. So that's my list right now: Nike, Hood, Nvidia, Tesla, and I put there the rest of the Magnificent Seven because we will be looking at Apple, we'll be looking at Meta, Microsoft, all those stocks. We'll see how they'll be moving today. Going back to this list, just in case we miss anything else that sticks out here. American Airlines, I see all the airlines United. I'm watching American Airlines. As you guys know, I'm in a swing on that one. We got in a couple of days ago. If it goes below 9, I'll add some more to that. We got Walmart, Google, all the Max 7. Oh, this is interesting. Baba. Let's take a look at Baba. How are our Chinese friends doing here? So Baba this morning is losing some ground. If you guys remember on the gap up, they maintained this very well here. Not the gap up, but over the last couple of weeks, they've just been holding this 130 level nicely, right? So they've been doing very, very well. All the stuff with AI, with Apple, and all that good stuff. That gave them a nice prop up here. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was waiting for you to finish.
Oh yeah, so I think this will be a good one today. I don't know how well they're going to trade, but I think it'll be interesting to see how this Chinese stock is going to get affected by all of this. So maybe a secondary, Peter. Thoughts?
Yeah, Baba. Yes, a secondary potentially. I personally am not going to watch it. I don't think today is the day when these are going to move. I'm not sure what to do with them, to be honest. But just with so much excitement happening in the North America-based stocks, it's hard to then, this is a Chinese stock trading on an American market, and of course with the tariff impact, it feels too convoluted for me to figure out. So hurts my head. I'll just leave it alone.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on a secondary. I agree. It might not be the one today, but let's see how it does. All right, friends, we're going to stop here. Let's see what Peter had. I see your comments, guys, on POTR. We're definitely going to look at it. Actually, we'll look at it now, and then we'll go to Peter since you guys are talking about it. Peter, we saw this yesterday just be incredible. It was probably the best opening stock out of the entire day, out of the entire list. Just awesome. Let me show you guys if you missed it. Here is the – wait, is that it? Yeah, here's the move. It was just went from 82 to 88.50. Never look back. So just awesome. I think it's worth looking at today if that continues. Right now we're down 7% with 2.6 million shares traded, and the pre-market looks active. So this stock trades well. I like it. Peter?
Yeah, it has traded very well. No specific news. It had a very immediate, surprisingly direct impact after the tariff announcement. I was watching Tesla, but its chart looks very much like Tesla. You can see, right? Sort of as the announcement came out, as soon as that chart came out, PLTR dropped. And again, if you sort of overlay Tesla, it looks very similar. It arguably even got a larger percentage move right at that time. So interesting, very interesting. I think PLTR is going to be in play, worth keeping on your list.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on here and we'll see where it goes. All right, friends. Peter, anything else you like this morning? We'll go to you, then we'll go to our chat to see what you guys have in your mind so far.
Well, nothing we haven't mentioned personally. I'm thinking I should have put PLTR on my watch list, but I may still watch that anyways. Mr. David in YouTube mentioned Restoration Hardware, or RH as they want to be called these days, trying to be cool. RH down 32% so far this morning. Not a lot of volume, but it looks like they also had earnings overnight, missed their earnings, so they got a double whammy, right? Bad earnings numbers, and they got hit, of course, as everybody did with this tariffs. I don't. I assume I've got to assume that they're a big importer because of all the stuff that they sell. I doubt much of that is made in the U.S. So sure, going to be an impact there, but yeah, 30%. That's a big hit for a retail company. They typically aren't moving that much. So will this become in play? I haven't seen it. I mean, the couple of times it's been on our list because of earnings, frankly, it's been very disappointing. So sure, it's down a lot, but probably is not going to get enough volume to trade in a way that I find appealing.
Yeah, yep, agreed. All right, friends, let's see what you guys like this morning. We'll start with our chat here. Let's look at some tickers. Again, a lot on here. For the Max 7s, we know they're in play, so I know you can watch your favorite on those. I'm going to be watching, for the most part, NVIDIA, Tesla, and we'll have the rest on the side there just in case they get going. And then call out something. If you see something that looks great, let us know. Steve, ASTS. Let's see here. What's happening with this one? So right now we're gapping down 10%, 600,000 shares traded. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this stock before, Space Mobile. I'm not a huge fan of this one, but again, we'll have to see. It won't be on my list. I personally don't like it, but is it in play? Absolutely. Does the day look great here as it's dropping some of the support levels? Right, we just kind of lost this 2250 area in the last couple of days. So yeah, that could be interesting. Hitting another support level here. Are you going to get a bounce? Who knows? So yeah, so I think it's a good one to watch, but not against what I have on my list at the moment. CRWV. We saw this yesterday, right? CRWV. This IPO. Yeah, this is a CoreWeave.
Yeah, recent IPO.
Yeah, AI company you mentioned.
Exactly. It's I think it's NVIDIA spinoff, but yes, they are a AI companies with services on the cloud. So in the cloud, up in the clouds.
Yeah. So again, these recent IPOs are very difficult to trade. I expect volume to be a lot less today, so just be mindful on this one. Again, we've seen some craziness on some of these recent IPOs, like WTF and NMAX.
Yeah, WTF, Carlos.
Yeah, man, this is out of control. So yeah, just be careful on these.
Yeah. This thing halted. It just was halting all the way down yesterday morning, as you can see, largely flatlined after that. But fun to say that was not tradable. I think it was hard to borrow and dropping with halts yesterday. I mean, it was just like a perfect storm of ugliness. So yeah,
it was brutal. I think for like the first 45 minutes you mentioned, it only traded like a total of like a minute and a half, maybe two. Right, yeah. It's just yeah. So just be mindful, man. It's just not worth it. So yeah, so I won't be watching that one. It's a cool ticker, but I think it's a prank, man. It's a trap. These guys opened up WTF on April Fool's Day. Come on, it's a trap. Be careful with that thing. And they're laughing. They're laughing at us right now. Like, look at these guys going long, and they're who knows what. Top Win International, never heard of this one. Another IPO that's gone to 14, just back down to 0 here. So just be careful, not really tradable for us. SMCI, let's take a look here. SMCI this morning down 7.8 and 1.6 million shares traded. So we do have some action on it. You know, SMCI yesterday got an initial move and then just went sideways for the entire time while other things were doing a little bit better. I don't know about today, man. I think there are other better things to look at. So yes, any other day when we were not flushing down and have so many different selections of stocks, great, but not today. I think today I'm gonna stick with some of the bigger ones, and of course, all eyes on the Qs and the SPY, right? I think that's what I'm gonna go with this morning. Quantum stocks trader Alex, let's see what you got here. QBTS, they all should be down, right? QBTS is down, has 2.1 million shares traded, so nice volume there. QUBT, not much volume. Yeah, they don't look great. And I don't see nothing exciting on the daily either, right? They're not really pulling away here like an Nvidia or some other ones that we have on deck like Tesla. So I think you got to really watch it to see how they play out, but I don't see anything overly exciting. IonQ has great volume though, so if you want to look at any of these, IonQ looks the best as far as volume. And as far as daily, QUBT has a great possible drop of the support level we have here. So if they can drop that, that can be great. But again, these stocks, they don't trade very well. I swing traded one of these and it did pretty good. But for the most part, as far as day trading, they don't move much, right? Like this entire day here is 50 cents, right? With very light volume. So it's not that big of a move. So be careful. Nike's on deck. Apple is, we looked at it. I'm watching Apple, of course. That's why I put there the rest of the Max 7 are going to fall on there. That's going to include Apple. Amazon, especially because I know Peter's been liking this one today, and I agree with him. I think this one can be very interesting given how the tariff news and everything else. But yeah, Meta, all these stocks were going to be in play today. All right, let's see what else we have. I think we are all set. Peter, let's go through announcements. Bearwithtraders.com. You can always see what's happening in our amazing community, guys. Bearwithtraders.com. You're going to go ahead and click on this webinars tab at the top, and that's going to show you what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. We're slowly getting into a normal rotation, friends. I know people were traveling yesterday. We kind of are almost all back. So soon the schedule will be nice and tidy like we usually have.
Indeed, and our schedule is slowly getting back to normal, but not quite yet. So looks like a mentorship sessions should be able to happen. Jared is going to be doing his options mentorship at noon. Lenny should be good for his 11 a.m. mentorship. We believe, haven't got confirmation on that. Tonight, though, Thor's mentorship session is not happening, but don't worry, there's going to be Thor at 8. But he's doing a recap, or basically he'll be doing the session that was scheduled on the S4R4 levels that was scheduled for Tuesday. So that'll be happening tonight at that 8 p.m. slot. So attend for that webinar. We've got a live sort of strategy webinar on his how to play those S4R4 levels. So that'll be tonight at 8 o'clock. So should be good. What's happening?
What's going on?
I'm getting messages, conflicting messages from all of our people. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, yes, that webinar is happening tonight, according to Thor, minutes ago. Mike is saying that it's happening next week, but Thor says he's doing it tonight. I know.
When you say that, it's like
yelling at me in the room. But I'm telling you guys, check Telegram. Thor, as of like 2 minutes ago, says that's what he's doing tonight. So I'll go with that.
That's what your bet is. I like it.
Yeah. So, and anyways, just join. Exactly, something interesting will happen. Anyways, all right. So we definitely have that going on tonight. Thor at 8. So period. There you go. We've got our spring sale still happening. So we are not impacted by tariffs so far. So you can still get our spring sale 50% off. Take advantage while you can. BearbullTraders.com if you want to join us. We'd love to have you. You can use the intro offer, the basic or elite monthly, of course, the best deal, which is that elite annual that's got the spring sale happening. So hopefully we'll see you in the chat room. And don't forget, where we go for information every morning, you should check out tradingterminal.com. It's the place to go to get all your trading information and news. Stay on top of everything there. We've got the scanners. We've got all sorts of tools in there that you can take advantage of. So hopefully you will check it out and use it and love it. All right, Carlos. We've also got we've got lists here of our moderators. By the way, mods, start to get your lists in. I know some of you are still traveling. Some of you are up in Whistler. I don't know how that's going, but you're having fun up there. Is there still snow?
I can see Andrew's camera here. Let's see. Andrew just logged into the chat, so we'll be disconnecting. We're going to continue over on YouTube. But yeah, look at Andrew there in the lodge. All right, very nice, very nice.
Trying to hopefully stay awake, it looks like.
So hopefully,
So
they're having a great time. Yeah, it's early, man. I don't know how you West Coast people do it. I'm a
I
morning
know.
person, but 5 a.m., 5:30 for a pre-market show, or nah, that's just not for me, man. It's too early.
I
So
know.
shout out to
I
all
did it for like
all you
4
West Coast
days,
traders. It's
and I'm
just shout out
tired.
to you guys. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No
I
kidding.
told Andrew, come to Jersey, but he's like, there's nothing there for me. It's so boring. He doesn't want to move to the East Coast. So, yeah,
um, why don't I jump right into what our moderators are watching, if you want to
yeah,
do that, Carlos? All right.
yeah.
So
Let's do
mods are
that.
starting to get their Yeah, okay. Mods are starting to get their list in. You can see everybody's got their stuff starting to show up here, starting with Sean, who you can check out the details posted in there for our members, and he's got that posted on social media as well. He's got a full plan for the day, as he always does. Thor's going to be watching AMD, Google, and NVIDIA. Mike is going to be watching AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, and of course the scanners. He usually likes to keep an eye on the scanners, and today feels like a great day for that, because who knows what's going to move once this opening bell rings, right? Tariffs have taken down everybody equally, but that opening bell may start to see some differentiation in the players. So we'll have to see what happens. Megan is going to be watching Apple, Meta, and Amazon. I'm going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple. Also keep an eye on some of the ones we talked about: Amazon, Nike, Walmart, and PLTR. Jared is going to be keeping an eye on overall market behavior. And I like it. He says he's keeping his fire hydrant handy. I think his fire extinguisher. He's got a fire hydrant handy. That's cool. But anyways, his fire extinguisher handy in case the markets burn. Brian is going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, PLTR, Amazon, and the SPY. And he's posted a picture of the Hindenburg. So, all right, I guess we know how he feels about today. Andrew's going to be watching TQQQ, Tesla, NVIDIA, and Apple. So you can see everybody's watching some of the big ticket items. Everybody's got sort of a negative feeling on the market. Yeah, we'll have to see. Again, I'm going to be cautious because I'm suspicious about whether, will some see this as a buying opportunity? Being things are gapping down so significantly, are we going to get a little bit of a bounce? Again, like I said, if things are down 9%, a 3% bounce, right, is just enough to throw off any short trades you've got. And it may not even be sustainable. We may just get sort of a little bit of pullback before things continue in the downward direction after the open. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm going to be ready for it just in case. So it's likely to be a quiet morning for me, at least right at the open, as I wait for things to settle out. My favorite time of trading, anyways, is usually about an hour after the market opens. So I may just stick to that. We'll have to see. If something grabs my fancy right at the open, I may change my mind. But for now, that's what I'm thinking.
Awesome. All right. See, Brian and Andrew are locked on. So I'm going to log off from the chat. We're going to continue here on YouTube trading live for you guys. Yeah. So I'm just going to log off here. Perfect. Okay. Excellent, friends. Now let's set some levels. Right. Let's set some levels. I got some stuff here. We will look at. Let's take a look at the first one. Is going to be. Hold on a second. Let me get everything switched over. All right, let's look at Nike, right? So we have Nike on deck this morning. We'll take a look at that one. And right now what I'm seeing is low of the pre-market on Nike is going to be 55.19. So, hold on. I got Brian on my ear. Forgot to mute it. There we go.
Brian's getting going. Clearly, Brian decided not to go to Whistler. But,
yeah, I see him in the office. Rest sign's not on though. That's not good. Rest sign's got to be on, especially on a red day like today.
Yeah.
All right, so low of the pre-market is 60.90 on Nike. The high of the pre-market is all the way up at 60.70. Sorry, low of the pre-market 55.19. Excuse me, and then high of the pre-market is going to be 60.76. So we'll mark those two there. And then if we look to the left again, we haven't been here in quite a while. Nike's just been getting slammed this morning. Actually, this is a new clearly a 52-week low, I think here. Man, these guys are just, like you mentioned, they went to 125. They're just getting destroyed. When was the last time we were down here? Wow, we got to go back.
It's been a couple of years. I think when I went back, it was about 2017 or something like that.
Yeah,
there was a spike down in 2020. I missed that.
Yeah, but
It
that's
was
only
somewhere
reaching
around.
the high of the pre-market, right? The low of the pre-market, you're right, is 2017. So you're right there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
wow. It's been a while. Looking at a monthly, guys, I'm going to mark down 51.22. I'm going to also mark down 48.98, and we'll leave it at that. And there is a somewhat of a level here. Yeah, it's worth marking 52.75. So again, that is coming off our monthly. There is a big level here too on the monthly at 58.17. We're going to look at that as well. All right, perfect. So there we have it. If you want more fine-tuned levels, you can look at the daily, but I'm not going to go back that far to look at the daily. We'll stick with the monthly levels, and some of these, as you can see, are reacting pretty nice. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so that is Nike, friends. Let's take a look at my next one on here is going to be, I lost my list for a second. I put my list. I know I have Hood. Let's take a look at Hood here and see how that's doing. So we got 20 minutes to the market open today. Hood this morning, we are looking at a gap down of 11%. Low of the pre-market 37.40. So 37.40 for Hood. The high of the pre-market is pretty much right where a little bit lower than the lows from yesterday. They're hanging out at 40.22, so we'll slam one there. Towards the bottom of the low of the pre-market, we do have a great area on the daily level, right around 35.82, right? So clear area there, looking pretty good. And then highs and lows above the pre-market high, doing a great job there for Hood. Next on here is going to be POTR. Again, this stock traded just awesome yesterday. Had a great start, beautiful continuation out of all the stuff we were looking at. That was the best one. I mean, NVIDIA gave us a good move, but it did take a couple of pullbacks. Actually stopped me after a great trade, given the way that the pullbacks were happening. But POTR was just right out of the gate, just took off. Today, high of the pre-market, 84.51 is a good level. Towards the bottom, 81.09. And then on the daily here, we do have a level down at 78. 76. I'm going to slam one there, and then below that we're going to see 75.75 above the pre-market highs and lows for the last two trading days. Previous day close, you are pretty set when it comes to POTR this morning. Here's NVIDIA again hitting 103.46 as the session low this morning. So, and I think, does that beat? I think that beats the most recent low here. Yeah, it does. Unless we did something pre-market on the 31st. That's the lowest I'm seeing here, 103.44 this morning. Lower than that, we're going to have to go into last year. So last year, September and August, we did have a couple of drops down to 198 and then another one at 98.05. So we'll mark both of those. But this 198 looks really good. You got a lot of touches on there, changing direction, so a lot of support happening there. Definitely want to have that level if the sell-off is in the cards for NVIDIA today. Towards the top, guys, we got plenty of stuff, highs and lows for the last two trading days, looking pretty good. Yeah, Jim, I see that September lows on this one for NVIDIA. All right, let's take a look at the last one on the list is going to be Tesla. Again, I am looking at others, the rest of the Max 7s as well. So we'll be looking at Apple, we'll be looking at Meta and Microsoft. High of the pre-market on this one is a 274.66. And then we're just kind of trying to hold here this 263.61. We tested it a couple of times here in the pre-market. You can see that right on here. So a couple of tests there. Let's see if it can hold, but struggling to maintain that there. Surrounding the bigger picture on the daily, right? This is our range this morning, 276, 274.66, and 263.89. It's the highs and lows for the last two trading days. And again, we had such a big range yesterday. We're in this range still, right? Though we're gapping down. We are higher than we opened up yesterday, than we gapped down yesterday. So that's interesting, just given how much this moves. So plenty of levels for the last two trading days since we're inside yesterday's range. I don't really think you need to add anything else. It's not making it more complicated than what it needs to be. If we do, we can always find levels down towards the bottom depending on how this thing is going to trade today. But for right now, you're pretty set when it comes to a Tesla. All right, friends, that's my list. I'm going to start setting up these screens for our live trading. 7 minutes to the market open. Actually, more like 7.5. Peter, you said your list already, but anything else sticking out that you like?
No, not really. I mean, I think I'm going to stick to those. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. I just don't know what's going to happen to this opening bell right now. I'm thinking both Tesla and Apple look great for my traditional rising devil type trade. If we can get a pop up way up towards the VWAP, which is significantly above the current price action, and then a drop back. That's sort of the trade I'm looking at. But again, whether that will actually set up or not, I don't know. Got to wait 5.5 minutes, and then I'll find out.
Yep, absolutely. And as usual, guys, again, I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to be waiting 5 minutes, right? So I'm gonna wait 5 minutes for my 5 minute ORB. Definitely no trades before 3 minutes. Usually around minute 3 or 4, you might see some opportunities to take something long, but definitely before 3 minutes after the market open, no trades, right? So that's a hard rule. It doesn't matter what's happening. There's no trading in those 3 minutes. Data has shown that I lose money more often when I trade those first 3 minutes. So we're gonna stick with what we know. Friends, hit that like button on YouTube. Really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. So make sure you slam that button as we get ready for what should be a very volatile and interesting market open here. All right, so I got my 1 minute chart. I got my 5 minute. I got Peter on both screens. I gotta fix that because I'm doing it manually as we're talking here. So I gotta automate these switches I'm doing here, make things a little bit smoother. Let's see. What was that?
Andrew's messing everybody up because his camera is on in the chat room, but his microphone phone is not. So it's like messing with everybody's head. You know what I'm gonna do? He's not. We'll see if I can get fired. I'm gonna turn off his camera and see if that just messes everybody. Get his attention. There. I muted his camera.
Oh, so he can't hear Thor and Brian then, because they would have told him. Yeah, his mic is off.
Exactly.
You made $5 from TIVC. That's all you. Yeah, if you made $5, it just tells me you hopefully had great risk management, because that's about how much you risk on this thing is 5 shares. I mean, it is a dangerous stock, so just be careful, man. Be very, very careful.
Oh, I know why. Andrew's trading for P Capital this morning.
Oh, that's right. He's right. And yeah. He just forgot to. He forgot to turn off his camera in our room. Probably that's what it was.
I think so. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear that from Mike. That is correct. For me, no trades before 10 minutes. Yeah, whatever works, right? Whatever your data shows you that you have to have, add it to your trade book and make sure you're following those rules. So we have Nike. Just gonna fix my list here. We have Hood. I am looking at PLTR. I have Nvidia, Tesla, and then with Tesla we're gonna have Amazon. We're gonna look at Microsoft. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna look at Microsoft. I'm gonna look at Apple. Apple is much better. So we'll have those.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry.
And then secondary Baba. Yeah, man. You know what it was? When we were there for that bit of time in the West Coast, you start getting used to the time. And for me, it's like 10 o'clock comes around, 11 o'clock, and I still have energy. Like, I don't want to go to bed because I was getting used to going to bed later. So that's been a problem for my end. I feel the difference.
Cruiser 78 is asking how many trades do you usually take per day? My average is something like 3.8, which means that I basically take between 3 and 5 trades per day. But again, that's an average, which means I can take anywhere from 0 to about 8 or 9 trades a day. That's sort of the range that I've normally got. Like yesterday, I took like 7 trades, but really I should have only taken 3. So I took a bunch at the open that I shouldn't have taken. And then after that, after the open, by the way, after the open craziness where I took a bunch of trades I shouldn't, I only took 2 trades for the whole rest of the day. My big one on Microsoft that made all my money for the day, well, half of my money. The other one was the after hours one on Tesla. So yeah. Where'd Carlos go? You still there?
I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
I was just saying, same for me, man. I take very little trades. I do about two or three a day. It's just I don't trade a lot. It's just I stick to my morning hour and a half. After that, I'm done, and it is what it is. So again, very light trading. I was compared to what I used to do. It was it was madness, man. 10, 15 trades a day. It's just again, just no logic to it. So it's fun. It's fun hitting the button. It is, but it
It
really
can
is. I
be.
mean, I love it, but you just can't. You just can't. Got to hold yourself back.
The problem is when it's
Um,
too much fun hitting the button. That's when you
right, get
get
in
into
trouble.
trouble, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, market is opening up here in 10 seconds. Just two that came up on the
Yeah.
list, BTI and ACN. That they don't look great. So, all right, here's eyes on the SPY. Ding, 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 ding,
Here's the
ding.
bell. See what we
And off
get.
we go. All right. Nike hood. PLTR.
Nike's moving up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Amazon, Apple, Baba. Important to play the price action, guys. Again, you can have your thesis on what you think is going to happen, but just make sure the price action is confirming what you're thinking, right? If you think we're going to be a
See, look at
sell-off
that.
day,
Look at that reversal on Tesla.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
exactly, man. I'm telling you, we got to be careful. We saw something similar yesterday, right? When things just it was gapping down, it's just everything took off. Look at hood. Oh man, is this gonna be a rip your face off type day? Let's see. Let's see. Baba's not getting no volume, so we'll leave that alone. Even Nike is trading well. I knew Nike was gonna be good today. Like Brian says, I knew it. They're gonna be better than usual, I think, this morning. Today is the day, James. Yes, today's the day to be disciplined. That's what you're gonna say, right? Because that's what we just need to be disciplined. Um, Today is the day.
All right. Come on.
What are you looking at? What are you thinking?
I took a short on Apple.
Nice.
I told you I was going to watch those two for the Rising Devil trade. That's what I was seeing on Apple. Tesla just kept going, so I didn't see a reversal point on that. So I flipped over to Apple. Took
Mm-hmm.
short around 106.75. Sorry, 206.75. Oh, yes. Okay,
Oh,
taking
nice.
partial
Nice
here.
drop.
Now that we got the low of day.
Yep. Nice.
I'm going to take a little bit more off here. It's a good move. Got almost $2 on that.
Yep. Very good. Very good.
See if we can get lower. Yeah, it's very skittish. You got to be careful. I mean, again, look at Tesla. Tesla just popped up and is holding those gains over 270 right now. So,
Yeah.
so as I said, just because the market was gapping down so significantly, you can get half of that clawed back in a pullback, and we're still red. I mean, if I look at the SPY and the Qs, we've gone up about 1%, but having been down 4, we're still
Yeah.
very bright red.
Yeah. SPY here. SPY is pushing higher, making a new high of the day. The Q is also pushing as well, pushing north here. So everything, even IWM, man, everything is just coming back. So
Yeah.
overreaction, or we seen it initially do this and slam back down. So again, just play the price action, leave the feelings at the door, and let's just play what we see here. So Apple's pulling back a little bit, but you got a nice drop, man. Did you get anywhere to a 480-ish, Phil, on that drop?
Uh, the best I got actually was 205.03. So it's I thought I hit the button below 205, but I didn't get filled. I just got stopped out on the remainder as Apple pulled right back up through my entries. So
Yeah,
like I said, being very cautious on this, not taking a lot of risk because I don't know where these things are going to go. Clearly,
yeah,
Apple, in the short term was not looking to go any lower.
yep, agreed. All right, coming up on minute 4 here. So I'm just looking around to see what has a good 5 minute opportunity right now. Nike and Hood. They have moved too far, I think. So I don't think they have the best entry. PLTR is doing it again. Just look at this move here. Apple might be a good setup here. If it's going to hold above the VWAP, this is probably the one I would take for a VWAP breakout. But we got to make a new high here somehow. Because right now, if you look at the charts, we have lower highs. So we need to show that we're serious about staying above the VWAP here. And this could be a good potential for a VWAP breakout or a 5-minute ORB if we wait for the 5-minute range here. But I like the setup right now for a long on Apple. Good risk to reward on the 5-minute ORB. Yeah, let's go long Apple. Why am getting this nasty feels, man? Like it's like the top of the ask. Like, why do they do that? I mean, that's how they brokers make their money. All right, let's see here. So pulling back to the VWAP, we need to hold. My stop is around 205.80. So we got to give this some room. But yeah, it's not looking good here. We're probably going to stop out. 205.80. Oh, we're coming right to it. Wow. Coming right to it, but it's not looking too healthy here. I'll be ready to pull out of this one. Yeah, we're going to get out. We got to stop out of this one. Might be a short, man. It's engulfing to the downside again on the 5-minute on Apple. So that might actually be a short there. If you look at the 5-minute, I'll show you guys. This could be a decent short there, but again, I'm not going to take that. But everything is pulling back a little bit. Tesla is having a decent day right now, and Amazon. Oh man, I like Apple short. Do we go short Apple? I like a short, man. What's your thoughts, Peter?
I don't know. I mean, this is right the area that it bounced last time. So
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't. It doesn't feel like a good risk to reward here.
Right,
If you,
right, right. I like the engulfing pattern, man. That engulfing pattern is
Mhm.
strong, but you're right. It's a tough spot. And also let's hope we're
It's one
not.
of those where
Hmm.
it's either going to drop heavily from here, and you're going to look back and go, I should have gone in, or it's going to pop right back
Yeah,
up, and you'll be very happy you stayed out. Right. The problem
yeah,
is, it
yeah,
feels like a coin flip as to which one it's going to be.
yeah. That's one thing I gotten very good at is make the decision with the information you have. What happens after doesn't matter. It's just
Right.
look at what you have. What happens after is just it's pointless to do that, right? Because you can't control that part. Um, Everything pulling back here. Tesla below the VWAP. I'm sorry, Tesla holding Nvidia below the VWAP. Man, Tesla is doing some stuff here. Um, Amazon. All right, is Apple back above the VWAP? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. Uh, Man, please don't be a choppy day. Let's break out one way or the other, guys. Don't do this to us. Yeah, I'm really starting. Like, if you start looking at Amazon, right? Start looking at Apple. Look at Apple. It has those choppy kind of candles on the 1 minute. So let's hope that's not the case here. Um, Thor is trading live for the chat. He looks like he took a short on one of your old buddies, Peter, AMD. So he's short
Oh,
AMD
I
here.
haven't even
Yeah,
looked at AMD this morning.
yeah.
Let's take a peek here.
He's short from looks like 99. And his stop is all the way at 99.57, I believe. If I can't hear what he's doing. I'm just looking at the screen, so I can't confirm that. Amazon reversal. Let's take a look. I don't know, man. We're wrapping around this VWAP. I don't know. To be honest, Apple's doing the same thing. We're just wrapping around it, and
AMD.
I don't like it. Tesla, on the other hand, is out of here. Nvidia back above the VWAP.
Yeah, see, Apple's looking pretty ugly right now.
It is looking pretty
So
bad. Yeah.
if you were going to go short, that little spike, sort of
Hmm.
around VWAP to me would have been the better place from a risk to
Yeah.
reward. But again, not my trade, so
I
I'm
don't
not.
trust it, man. To be honest, I don't trust it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
it's,
fair.
yeah,
Look at Tesla. Tesla is one of the few things that's gotten directional. It's up and holding at 275 now.
yeah,
So
man. Who took Tesla, guys? Please tell me you guys are in it. Kyle Long PLTR, awesome, my friend. Yeah, go get him. Very good, very good, very good. That looks great. Hood had tons of volume, kind of dying down a little bit. Nike going flat. Tesla long. Tesla. I call Tesla you guys. Awesome. Look at you, Tesla. Great job, man. Great job. And this is one of the tickers that, again, is probably the least affected by all these tariffs, right? Because all the models, or at least most of the models, are made in the U.S. So, as far as imports, it doesn't affect them. It still affects them as far as sales, right? People are just gonna hold on to their money, man. We're not gonna go out there shopping for new cars with all this uncertainty. Unless you was me back in 2008. Oh my God. I was buying a brand new BMW in 2008. Had no idea the house market was crashing. Didn't care. And I bought it late 2008 too. It's just no clue of what was going on financially. I know I was good. I was just young and not too in tune with what was taking place.
don't worry, I've done that too.
Like, what you mean we're in the market's crashing? We're still getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's
See,
just working.
I bought, well, this house that I'm currently in, I guess it all worked out, but I've been in it for
Mm-hmm.
25 years. But I bought the house in 1999, expecting to pay it off within a year with all of my stock options from Nortel, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
Stock options ended up expiring worthless, and I had to pay it off the old-fashioned way.
Mm,
But
mm, mm.
I managed to do it.
Yeah. Here goes Apple. Nice drop so far. Looks like everything's turning around because not just Apple. I see a lot of stocks selling off. Amazon, not Tesla though. Nvidia is still choppy. Um, yeah, certain things pulling back a little bit this morning. Is it just me, or the chart are jumping like crazy? If all of them are jumping like crazy and are using Dash Trader Pro, just try to change quote servers. If that's the case, but it depends what you're looking at because there is some choppiness. PLTR about to go for another leg up higher here. Wow! So if you guys took PLTR and Tesla doing very nice. Hater, you took PLTR. Apple short, yes, good entry. Apple short 206. That's kind of where Peter was talking about. Yeah, this pop here would have been the better short entry. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Apple. Look at you go. Very nice.
See, I sort of feel my early trade. I was right on Apple. It just didn't want to set that direction quite
Yeah.
yet. So
Yep. Amazon. Okay, things are looking pretty nasty here. Nvidia. So how do we join this party? So we're getting a little bit of a sell-off. You can't join Amazon because it's gone. Apple, I wouldn't join here. So what I usually like to look for is, okay, who else is going to sell off that's going to give me a better risk to reward?
yeah.
That's Nvidia right now, but Nvidia does not seem like it wants to sell off as clean as the other ones. But Nvidia will be the one that will give me the best risk to reward if we're going to go into like this little sell-off where everything just starts going red. So take a look at the cues. Yeah.
We do have some economic data that's coming out in a minute and a half. Again, whether that's going to have a market impact, I don't know. This is the S&P PMI number, global composite PMI. So we'll see. These are numbers that are on a relative scale. So because you got the global PMI and then the manufacturing PMI. So
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go short Tesla here. It's the one that's going to give me the best risk to reward if we're going to sell off, and it seems like we might be getting into some kind of sell off here. Some other ones are possibly too far out, like Amazon and Tesla are gone already. I'm sorry, Amazon and Apple, excuse me. Amazon and Apple are too far out. So we'll take Nvidia. Let's see if we get a drop. Oh, why are you coming back like that on me? Come on, don't do that. Play nice. It's sell-off day today. How do I join this party? Yeah, I hear you. That's the thing. How do I join this party? Looks like I came into the wrong party though, with Nvidia. All right, above the VWAP. Yeah, I gotta stop out. Oh man, today's not a good day. Let's see here. Are we going to drop or squeeze? Yeah, there's no point in staying in that. Man, the choppiness. All right, so 0 for 2 right now for me. Cover half my position on Apple here. Very nice. It's messy. You know what? It wasn't a bad day though. It's messy, but it wasn't a bad day. There's some good opportunities. I just missed. I missed today. Missed on Apple. And we missed PLTR. Man, PLTR was awesome. And Tesla at the beginning as well. Pulling back now, but at the beginning you had a nice little pop there on Tesla. That turned out pretty decent. Someone mentioned Google. Let's see. Yeah, you mean for a short? Could be. Could be. What? Could be Nike. Let's see. I think Nvidia is trading so bad, but I think that could be one that can potentially break out nicer because they're still hanging around the VWAP. Like they haven't really got extended like a Tesla, like an Amazon, right? It's just kind of hanging out here, or Apple. Look at the way Apple's trying to bounce back now. So I think Nvidia's got a good shot of either breaking higher or low. We just gotta wait here. Tesla's next move up might be to stick or drop dead. Well, let me see. I don't know.
All right. So yeah, the market doesn't seem to have cared. The PMI numbers came out. They came out pretty much right on target. In fact, suspiciously on target. They're like exactly 53.5 was both the forecast and the actual. Global services 54.3 and it came out at 54.3. So, or 54.4, I guess, but still. So yeah, no news there really. Complete non-impact. We do have the ISM numbers that are coming out at 10, so another set of economic data, but again, on a day like today, it's all tariff, baby. Tariff all day. So looks like this pop-up might be short-lived here on the market as we
It is nasty out here, Peter. It's not great, man.
No. I'm sort of happy I got that little trade at the open because now I can just sit back and I don't feel forced to do anything.
Yeah. I agree 100%. But yeah, we'll have to see SMCI. Let me take a look at this one. What else you guys are watching today besides what we're looking at? SMCI, what are you thinking here? Short, long? Tesla selling off. Well, it's sold off already, right, from the highs. But it's still right here at the VWAP.
So
yeah, so this is a danger zone. We gotta see what it does here. Nike back to the VWAP, nice pop. It did it very clean too. We were watching this and it's just back to the VWAP again. Hood, everything's just back to the VWAP and or look at PLTR. It's just the back and forth choppiness. Nvidia, what a mess. Tesla, no good. Amazon, Apple. Yeah, we just gotta sit tight. Just gotta sit tight and see what else we can get here. But things are not looking pretty good right now. And everything I have touched so far, I have not been successful at. Long SMCI, minor news under H200. Okay. There could be some stuff there. Could be some stuff there. I don't see anything I like. Apple maybe reverse. Is it similar to choppiness today in the it's similar to the choppiness today in the Indian market? Yeah, I'm sure across the globe here, these all these tariffs and uncertainty is probably affecting a lot of places. Look at Nvidia. It's just messy. Like I was thinking maybe this is it, higher highs, higher lows, and just right back down, right back up. Just confirmation. I need to put the brakes on anything at the moment because we are in chop in some of these things. Apple seems like it wants to reverse here. I'm not a great reversal trader, so I won't take this one, but it looks like you have a nice risk to reward from here towards the VWAP. As it pushes higher.
Yeah, I don't know. Apple, maybe bouncing here.
Yep.
Little double bottom. Tesla bouncing off the VWAP. But again, it seems to be going with the overall market because you can see this exact same candle on a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like
interesting. The semis aren't reacting. Nvidia and AMD not getting the same bounce as Apple, Tesla, and Microsoft.
Yeah. They're just sideways. Nothing really exciting.
Wow.
And then
Nike.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Nike does this all the time, right? It had like this one candle right at the open, looked like it was going to do well, and then like 3 candles later, it just basically has gone flat. So the fund's already well done on Nike. That being said, Walmart actually good move up on Walmart off the open. Just sort of took off and then has held it. I mean, not a massive move, but still $4 move. So it's about 5%. It's decent. PLTR held its gains, sitting at the highs here. Again, it looks a lot like Walmart. Pop off the open and has held those gains. So.
All right, is the breakout coming? What are we doing here? Looks like the breakouts might be heading in here. Tesla's pushing higher. Nvidia. I was gonna say too, right before you start here, the bad thing about this choppiness is then when the breakout does happen, you miss it because there's really not, there's no trust that this thing is going to actually break out now. So look at that, you're getting a slight breakout here, made a new high of the day on Nvidia. But getting in here now is just, for me at least, it's not good. Not good at all. We need some kind of pullback, and I don't think we're getting it. This thing is rocking here. I won't be surprised if the market closes green today. No, we won't be surprised either, man. We've seen this over and over again where you get these overreaction, and you got to think about it too. Like if you look at the overall SPY as we're looking for something to trade here, I mean, we've been dropping forever. Well, I say forever, it's only been like a month and a half, right? We've been dropping. So some of this stuff could already be baked in, right? So some of it, I don't think all of it. I think what happens now is, okay, how does the job number come out? Not this time, but the next report. Do the numbers start getting affected by these tariffs, and and how the long-term picture will start looking. But yeah, we've seen markets start like this and green. I personally don't think that's going to happen today, but we could get pretty close. I think we can move some gains. Here's Nvidia. Here's why I don't chase things, guys. I mean, just if you got in here, surviving this drop could be a little bit tough, right? So you got to be careful when things are gone chasing. Let's see here. Hood, Nike. Man, just don't see anything I like at all. Let's take a look at WTF. What's up? What's up with this? Nothing. Dead. NMAX was very active yesterday. Again, dead. So this is no volume and really not doing anything. The stock went up to 263. IPO at 20, around 20, not even $13, and went up to 260. I mean, how insane is that? That is wild. I mean, we've seen some wild stuff on IPOs, but that right there is just out of control. And then what's the other one? You guys mentioned another one, the IPO today. What was that one? Oh, IPO'd yesterday. There was another one
WTF?
there. No, the WTF was 2 days ago, right? But there was another one.
NMAX and WTF are the only two that I was looking at. If there's another one,
Yeah, someone mentioned in the chat, but I can't remember. Oh, yeah, CR Core Weave, CRWV.
Oh, yeah, CR.
This actually was a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. No, not that much volume here. Thank you, guys. Yep, thank you for seeing that. Nike lost the VWAP. PLTR is gonna trying to have an amazing day again. I mean, it's just looking to break out here.
I haven't liked the. I had the Amazon on my list. Haven't loved the price action on Amazon. So
could be good above the VWAP here, but again, I like these VWAP breakouts, but I don't trust it's gonna go higher. Yeah, guys, smash that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support. It is awesome. Again, it means a lot to us, and it does help the channel to keep us live here on YouTube every day, right? So we appreciate that very much. Trust me, if it was not for the algos or whatever YouTube likes, we wouldn't bother you with this. But I forget to do it myself. I'm gonna go do it right now. I'm gonna hit the thumbs up. There it is. But we appreciate it very much. All right, looking. What do we have? NVIDIA. I think this market is gonna make us work today. It's not gonna be as easy as yesterday. It's gonna make us work and wait, and that's what we have to do. Yes, likes and comments are what moves the algos. Yes. Oh, it's not like we're trying to go like viral or something. We just like the likes, to be honest. We're not trying to go viral. Like, no, we probably could care less about that. We just like the likes. We like thumbs up. Oh, man.
Makes us feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, we would care less about what the algos are doing, man. We just want your support. Tesla. Let's see here. Amazon. Are you guys in anything? Maybe something I'm not seeing. How are you guys trading stuff? Give me your point of view, guys. What are you in? How are you in it? What strategy did you trade? Just those three things. Put them on there. Because again, you're looking at we're looking at the stuff that me and Peter are looking at. You might have some good ideas and strategies that you probably took that have worked out pretty good. NVIDIA long. You're asking. I'll check. I don't. To be honest, yes, it is. It's looking like a long, but do I trust that it's gonna actually break out? I don't have trust issues right now with some of these things, man, because the way it has shown the last couple of minutes here, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you have stocks do this, like the only trade here was this breakout to here and then right back down. You're not gonna survive this. This is, I mean, unless you have a strategy that can do that. I won't be able to do that. So when you have the stocks trading like this, it's very difficult to say, hey, this is a breakout, because it didn't break out time before that, or before that. So it's a tough market to be in when you're trading like this. And then what happens is when it does break out, you probably are going to miss the opportunity. So it's very difficult, very, very difficult time to trade. We'll get something, but we just got to be patient. Let's see. Let's read some comments here. So shorted PLTR now reversal. Shorted MSTR from previous day low. Okay. See, now that's what I'm talking about here. MSTR.
MSTR. That's not
from previous day low. MSTR. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Short PLTR. I saw that one. PLTR. Yeah. Okay, we got a little drop there to the 20 moving average. So usually that's where I would like to see a stock hold if I'm gonna be long, right? It'll lose the 9, it'll come to the 20, a hold. So, just make sure you're good. ABCD pattern on Baba. Let's take a look. Yeah, I can see that. Man, look at Baba go. It's getting some energy here. Last couple of minutes, we've seen an increase in
Yeah,
volume.
interesting.
Going green. Hey, we got to stock that screen
Mhm.
today. That we actually, it's actually the only one that green on my list. This morning on a secondary. Everything else is red. Yeah, Baba's having a good day today. Really, really nice. Shorted Apple, lower high under VWAP. Oh, yes. Okay, good. Here or here, right? A or B? This being A. I would like to know that. Good stuff. All right, Nvidia is like my ex-wife. I have trust issues with her. Kyle, I'm with you. We are not vibing today. That's good. That's
Wow.
good. That's good.
Yeah, I heard someone mention RGTI, tempted to go long. It looks just
Oh,
choppy to me. I think we're getting into a chop on a lot of things. I mean, Tesla
yep.
actually looks. If Tesla breaks through the VWAP to the downside, I know I'm always seeing things short, but it looks like one of those that potentially could drop. But again, it's holding this VWAP, so certainly not at this moment.
Yep.
But
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Sridhar. Yeah. So I'm down 2 trays red. Apple here, and also what's that? Nvidia and Nvidia. But it's funny because Nvidia, you see it like slowly like inching higher, so it's doing it. But it's just not getting a quick breakout. But you see like this made a new high here, made another new high here. It's kind of doing a little trend. Again, I don't trust it, but slowly doing this thing there.
and we'll have to see how long. Like again, we're sort of day one of this new tariff announcement era.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It's sort of impossible to tell. I mean, I just asked a rhetorical question because um, tariffs are something that you don't actually feel the impact of for quite a while. So the
Mm-hmm.
administration has started using the renovation analogy, right? You want to renovate your house, or it's messy and it's going to be painful at the beginning, but sort of worth it at the end. Um, we'll have to see, because what we don't know is how long do you think this renovation is going to last? Is this a 2 month renovation, or is this a 2 year renovation?
Right.
Um, and I don't know that they know necessarily, because there's a lot of factors, right, that are involved here. So
Absolutely. Yeah, MU continues steady down. Yeah, see that. MU here is trading very, very well towards the downside. TSM generally looking for failures today. Any strength is suspect. Yeah, I could understand that as well. Right? It's not good. Nike finally gave off on the VWAP here, so sliding down. Um,
yeah,
Amazon trying to hold just under the VWAP here. UPS is ugly. Let's take a look here. Clarice, UPS. Yeah, UPS normally. Oh, it's ugly, like gapping down ugly. Okay, yeah. Looking good as far as trading, but ugly as far as the drop. Yeah, it is very ugly here. But man, this drop looks good. This is pretty decent here. Down 7%, 1.6 million shares traded. Well, people don't plan to ship stuff. What's going on with UPX?
there you go. Taking a partial.
Where at?
So
That's
Tesla,
yeah.
I made the call. For those of you that were paying attention, remember I said
Mm-hmm.
Tesla
Mm-hmm.
looks good if it could drop the VWAP, and
Yep.
it,
Yep.
it got below it. see how far we can go here. Again, might be short-lived. I'm not counting for long-term on anything, but you're welcome.
Yeah.
For anybody,
Yes.
anybody
Yes.
follow me
Yes.
in, or also take the trade.
Yes. 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 Good. Good stuff, man. Hopefully, you get the continuation because that's the problem we're seeing, right? We're getting like the first partial, and then we're not getting that second nice one. Hopefully, we get the
Excellent.
flush here.
We got a few.
Yeah, I got to feel with you,
We
man.
got the
Very
third.
nice.
What do we got? The 13th Division 15. You got a confusing name. 3THNVV15. Anyways, great.
Here it
Trendigo
is. Here
X
it is. Come on.
people.
Let's go to 267 on Peter here.
Yeah. You got another
You got a
buy cape. Got
lot
more.
of bids down there at 268. That's good, man. Hopefully post that
Yeah.
down. Yeah, look at those big orders on the bid.
Hoping for a pop below 268 here. Come on. Get those ordered. There you go. Okay, taking another
Oh,
partial. Another dollar, another partial.
what's this? That looked weird. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we're good for a long continuation. Like I'm not seeing the stack up of orders on the bid side. So we might continue because I'm
Yeah,
not
I saw
seeing a
some
lot of
earlier.
ask.
I saw some
Yeah.
big guys at 268, but you're right. They're gone now.
I mean,
Big guys
our
with big
low of the
girls.
day is
I don't know what.
264 exactly, which we hit right at the open. So,
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, that's where I'd like to hold now for my next party trick,
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
next partial. But I mean, we're still very close to my entry, right? So we could, it wouldn't take much for this thing to pop up another, you know, pop up $2 and stop me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Nvidia continues his choppity chop. Look at this. Just brutal. Amazon, Apple, Baba. Yeah, nice, man. So hopefully, get another leg down here. Low of the day would be great for Tesla.
Yep, that would be great for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see
Come
here.
on, Tesla. Don't know where we're going. I noticed MSTR actually pulled back up to the VWAP here for anybody that was watching that.
All right, Carlos. What is the TSLL ticker? I don't understand the relationship to Tesla. So it's basically TSLL.
Yeah,
Wow, you're
it's
getting the
long,
move,
it's
Peter.
leveraged.
Yeah, you're getting the move here. It's just leverage, right? So it moves with the Tesla ticker, right? This doesn't, it's basically, you look at Tesla, if you like something on Tesla and you want to play that direction, you can enter this. But it's, remember, it's 2 times leverage, right? So
Right,
so just be mindful of that. So if Tesla
right,
moves 1 point, for example, this will move like two, right? In essence.
right. And again,
So
it's leveraged on a percentage basis, not on a
yes,
dollar per
yeah,
dollar basis. So if
exactly
Tesla
right.
moves 1%, this should move two basically.
Yep,
But
yep.
the advantage is it's cheaper. It's only a $10 offering, so in theory you can trade more of it.
Yeah. So Andrew trades
I'd
this
say
one a bunch. So what he'll do is he'll look at Tesla. He'll look at Tesla's price action, right? He'll look at the strategy here, and if
yeah.
he likes, let's say he wants to go short here, Peter did, then he'll just take it on Tesla. But then he'll continue looking at, I'm sorry, on TSLL, and he'll continue looking at Tesla for the actual moves, right? So that's how
Huh.
he'll trade that.
Interestingly, I said in theory you can trade more of it, but its margin rate is actually not bad. Okay. Yeah.
Would you recommend trading that for a small account, or is it too? Yeah, you could trade for a small account. Like if you don't want to trade 267, you could definitely trade that. At the end of the day, just watch how much you're risking. You know, so if
Yeah.
it makes sense, for example, like if you're trading, if you're on a per share with commissions, it may be better to trade Tesla with less shares, less commissions. So you got to really average things out on what's best. You could do it, but at the end of the day, just make sure you don't risk more than what you're supposed to, right? Like, don't. What you cannot do is go trade that because you want to take more shares and risk a lot more, right? You don't want to do that. That's dangerous. So
Right.
that's that's all. But with that said,
Tesla's looking Tesla's looking better for a drop here, in my opinion. So
yeah, that's really good, man. Yep, yep. The tension, I feel the tension, man. The market's like tense. It's like this tension here. Where are we going? What's happening? Are we dropping? Are we going up? Like, if you want to see tension, look at Nvidia. What can be more tense than this right here? Just back and forth, back and forth. This is brutal. Why is the market uncertain? I mean the tariffs, right? There's so much
yeah,
still up in the air. Like, you got some numbers now, right? So you got some numbers from the president, right? So you have that. What you don't have now is, like it was kind of Peter mentioned in the pre-market show, is how other countries going to react, right? Some said they're going to wait, others are going to haven't said anything yet, so we don't have an idea on how they're going to react. Then the other part of it is, how is the consumer going to react,
well,
right? Is everybody going to start
right.
holding their money? If we don't spend money here, then the economy goes to shit. That's what happens. We need people to spend money, right? And if that happens, then jobs go down. And then you have this domino effect that can actually put you into a recession, right? So that's the
Sure.
uncertainty right there, you know?
Plus
In,
the
in the,
uncertainty as to whether this is ever even going to happen, right? So the tariffs were announced with the
right,
intention of them going in place on the 5th. We're only the 3rd today. So if they're going in place on Saturday, in the interim, you could get negotiations with countries, right? And
right.
agreements to, some tariff relief, or, so there is a lot of uncertainty in the market as to what exactly is going to happen. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So as soon as some of that stuff starts clearing up, you're gonna see better moves. Yeah, fear of recession, as of course. Once that starts clearing up, we should see cleaner moves. But right now, the market's just, nobody wants to bet on anything, and knowing that it can have a big swing one way or the other, right? Whether you're betting long or short, doesn't matter. People are gonna wait. Usually it's the big money. Usually it's the investors, right? They'll move. They'll be in something. They might not be in riskier stocks like a Tesla, like the Max 7. They might be moving their money elsewhere. Like, you seen gold move up, hitting all-time highs. So they kind of move their money where they're going to make less, but it's going to be a little bit more less risky if things go south, right? So that's all that's happening here. But once these guys get the green light, that hey, we're good. We're gonna see, like always, the SPY always comes back. But it's about when is that happening? Now, as for us day traders, it's just we don't care much about the long term part. We're just looking at the short term. But right now, this uncertainty is messing us up here because things are not trading all that clean at the moment.
Did they go in effect last night? I thought they said April the 5th. Maybe I got that wrong.
I didn't hear the fifth part.
No, no.
Thought it was last night, but
It was last night? Okay, people are saying it was last night. Okay.
okay.
All right. My bad. I thought I read the 5th. Anyways, so even so, we still then need to understand the response, I guess, from all the different countries as they absorb it.
Yeah.
It's sort of a fascinating economic approach. I mean, definitely playing high stakes poker here. Um, if it's a
Uh-oh.
bluff, it's a pretty dangerous bluff to put your entire economy on the table. Basically, Trump has said with the U.S., we're all in, and just daring somebody to call the bluff. So it's, so crazy it just might work. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But,
I spies giving some weakness here pretty good the last couple of minutes here.
That being said, yeah, my Tesla's bouncing back though, so
Why? Why isn't that
I
follow the
don't know.
SPY, man? What's wrong with this thing? Submit to the will of the SPY in the market and drop.
Like I said, you never know. This is why I took my partials. If it comes back up and stops me out, so be it. It would be great if this thing could just hang out down here for just a little while longer. I'd love to get the VWAP under my entry price.
Yeah, that will
Um,
help.
that would be nice, but we're close. Close. Another 20 cents. Short sale restriction on Nike and Hood. Oh, well, okay.
Really?
That'll dampen
Oh
activity. Oh
yeah,
yeah, like short sale
we're down
restriction. I
ten
mean, it's still
percent. Yeah.
shortable,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to short on the uptick now. And Nike, yeah, you're right. I see that too. So
Yeah, down
okay,
13%.
interesting.
They just click on?
I don't know. I don't. I
Okay.
didn't notice it earlier. So,
Mm.
but I mean, it was. It hasn't gone. It's not at low of day. At least Nike isn't. How about Hood? Hood. Well, I guess Hood just did set a new low of day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
10% is in. I don't think it's about time. It's just in the day, I believe. The SSR. So I'm not sure there's a time frame. Actually, it could be. I don't know that for a fact. So the SSR could be on some kind of time. Definitely it has to be within a day. It can be over a couple of days, right? Um, so definitely within a trading session. But that's a good question. I'm not sure. I know it lasts for like at least, for example, like whatever's on SSR today. If they got it today, tomorrow they'll still be on SSR. Even if they gap up like 50%, they'll still be on SSR. So I think it takes a day to
It's when
clear or two.
yeah, it's usually when the stock's price declines compared to its previous day close. So
Okay.
that's why I said I'm surprised at Nike because I thought it opened lower. Maybe it happened right at the open and we just didn't notice. But
Yeah. Or pre-market. Pre-market went down to
well,
55.
it does. It doesn't count pre-market. I think it's only once the market opens that it would consider it. So if
Okay.
it
So
was lower and then
55.
pulls
Yeah.
back up for the market open, then it wouldn't necessarily take effect.
Gotcha.
So so that could be why Nike. What's the official opening? Yeah, maybe Nike just hit a low because its open price was 56.30, and then at 10:05 it hit 56.02. So that could be just enough to have
To
triggered it.
trigger it. Yeah. Yep.
All right, Tesla, where are you going? I'm just sitting in this thing, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking for my next trade, but I don't see it. I don't see anything that I like. Meta. Yeah, it is. But you know what? Boring days, red day for me so far. It's okay, man. We had how many great days, right? Back to back to back. It can't be great every day. You're gonna have some of these boring days. But you're right. I did expect more fireworks today, and we're not getting them as I thought I was going to get them today. So
Now, what might be interesting? This is like a random wild card. We do have two Fed speakers today. One at 12:30, one
hmm
at 2:30. Normally, the Fed speakers don't, unless it's um, Powell. Sorry, I lost his name for a second there. Unless it's Powell talking, normally the market largely ignores the Fed speakers these days. However, if
yeah,
ever there was a day when they might make some inflammatory comments, I mean, they may be counseled to strenuously avoid that, but if they chose to, these Fed speakers could certainly make some comments that the market could react to. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that's going to be the case. They've been in the last few years, especially. I mean, we're certainly not in the Greenspan era, right? Remember Greenspan? That was back in my day.
Oh
We're,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking like
I
almost 30 years ago.
I
But
remember seeing documentaries, but obviously I don't.
documentaries. Oh, now I'm feeling old. Jeez.
Peter, there's a
Anyway, all
documentary
right.
from like last week. Like they do it so fast now. It's unbelievable how fast these things come out, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen the story. It's crazy. Crazy,
Back in
crazy.
the war effort. Anyways, but yeah, the old Greenspan days when it was like the irrational exuberance, right, of the markets back in the dot-com bubble and the telecom boom and bust, and
Mm-hmm,
he
mm-hmm.
loved his Greens. He loved his irrational exuberance comment, but he would make inflammatory comments that the market would absolutely move on. And you notice that Powell had started like at the beginning of his term. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but he would make these statements, and the market would go nuts. And I think he got quickly counseled to say, "Look, man, you can't be throwing the markets all over the place. That's not part of your job." So it's I mean, and Greenspan was doing it on purpose, by the way, back in his day, because he was very
Yeah.
concerned that the market was absolutely overinflated. Turns out he was right, and the market did see, of course, a big pullback after that. But he was purposely trying to, get market reaction. Um, but yeah, it was. I mean, the thing was just so red hot at the time that it was not. Nobody was paying attention. They
Yeah.
looked on it as amusement. Look at the old guy making comments. He doesn't understand the new economy. Turns out he did, but but for a long period of time, right? People were calling him a naysayer and out of touch and all sorts of stuff because the market just kept going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Tesla looking better again here, but still not
Amazon.
great. It's a little bouncy. So the
Spice continues to
SPY
make new
looks
lows,
especially
man.
weak here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised like Tesla's not just collapsing here with the overall market as well.
Well, if you
But
look at the Qs as a different measure here, I mean,
hmm
the Q seems to be holding a level, and it hasn't hit the low it was at around 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Pre-market. So it looks
must
like there is a
be
little bit of support.
must be Amazon. Like obviously SPY is a indicator of several companies, of course, right? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to see like, okay, who's the big guy dropping? I don't see nobody selling off like that.
No.
Besides Amazon, obviously Amazon, which of course a big one.
Amazon and yeah, Apple's sort of holding a level here. Microsoft's looking okay.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of the big ones are holding out. What? I always have to look it up. What makes up? So Apple is the biggest component.
hmm
Microsoft is next. Nvidia, Amazon, Broadcom. What's Broadcom doing this morning? Broadcom's holding up fairly well. Meta,
What's that ticker for Broadcom?
Costco,
Um,
AVGO.
oh yes, right, AVGO. Yep, yep, yep.
Hmm. Costco, actually. Costco, look at that big run up off the open on Costco. It's sort of sideways now, but that's
Which
interesting.
which look, that's Cisco. Costco is cost, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
cost. Netflix. Oh, yeah. What's Netflix up to? Netflix
Walmart.
actually had a good move up off the open, too. So interesting. Netflix almost went green. Almost. Well,
All right, we got going on
technically,
here.
technically, it went green by 2 cents at the spike of a single candle.
hmm
But come on,
Looking at
Tesla.
chat. How do you guys bounce back from a big mental mistake or loss? So many different ways. Man. Everybody does it different. And as you get more experience too, is a different strategy when you're earlier in your days, right? If you earlier in experience, it takes a heavier toll on you when you make those big mistakes, and you got to go through the whole process of stop trading, take a break, journal, really learn from the mistake, and make sure you're ready mentally to come back to trading. If not, go back to sim, right? So there's like very strategic things you have to do. As you get more experience, you just kind of reflect on it, say, okay, we learned from it, this happened, and you've been here before. You know what you did to make it work. Tomorrow's a brand new day. So it becomes easier to bounce back from those mistakes. That's why you see guys like Andrew and other big traders that don't have a bad day, not just P&O, it's just mental breakdown where they have FOMO, they shorted, they average down, and everything just went in their wrong direction. The next day they come in, they're perfectly fine, like nothing happened, right? So that just comes with experience. But the first few times, it's not that easy. So, but yeah, go through the process, take a break, go back to sim, or just walk away from it for a couple of days. Journal. Got to journal. Be very honest with your journal. Like, don't just say, oh, the market, I lost money because the market did this. Or no. Honest with your journal. That means take your trade book, match it up against what you did. Did you follow your trade book? Did you break your rules? Like, be brutally honest, right? Not to beat yourself up, because beating yourself up doesn't help anything. It just makes you feel worse. Just be honest with the purpose of learning from it, and take a break, come back, and just apply what you learn. So I know it feels like the end of the world when you make those big mistakes, but it's no big deal, man. We all done it. You can get over it. Just make sure you understand that. Just gotta learn from it. That's all. That's really it. Easier said than done sometimes, obviously. All right, Apple buff the VWAP. Are we going long here? Is the rally coming? Are the Bulls taking over? Where's Big Mama Bulls? Is she still in here? I gotta talk to her, see if the Bulls are in play now. She would know. I'm not sure if she's still hanging around, but she would know if the Bulls are back in action on Apple. Let's see here.
Somebody's asking what we journal. I like to journal more what I was thinking. I find that more important to journal sort of my mental state, right? What was I thinking when I entered the trade? What was my intent? Not how it worked out. Because sometimes you can look at a trade afterwards and you're like, oh, clearly that was a breakdown. Or, if you go long, you're like, oh, well, clearly it was an ABCD pattern or something. But was that what you thought it was when you took it? That's the more important thing to trade, because after the fact, it's sort of easy to say, well, this is the trade and why it worked. But if that's not what you thought you were doing when you entered it, you're creating a false narrative, right? You're writing the narrative after the effect. Don't let the results color your judgment, because you can't replicate that. You can't do that consistently. And you're going to think you did better than you did. Same thing on errors, right? Sometimes you beat yourself up too much, and it's like, actually, it was the right decision. It just didn't work. And that's okay, right? Because you can sort of take some comfort out of that. It wasn't that I made a bad call. It didn't work. And that's those are the odds. Sometimes you can do everything right and it still goes wrong. So that's why I like recording the mental state, because the facts, right? What was the price when I entered? All that data. A journaling tool will do that for you automatically. You don't need to re-record that. The stuff that you can't get in the journaling tool, or that won't record without you expressly doing, is, was I calm? Was I distracted? Was I frustrated? Was I revenge trading? All right, try and take note of all of that. And I think that will help to the earlier question that Carlos was answering about how do you deal with a bad mental decision. If you're trying to dispassionately write that out, what was I thinking and doing? And then analyze it like you're looking at someone else's report. Easier said than done. And usually that's why I like to do that after market hours or outside of the market hours. But if you were to counsel this person, happens to be you, but what would you tell them? And knowing what their weaknesses are, because if you're honest with yourself, you're going to know them better than anyone else. How do you then implement that reliably? So for me, there's things like I purposely use silly things like this egg timer, right? I mean, I don't need an egg timer, but I know I get distracted after a period of time. So I put the egg timer on, I put it out of reach. I physically have to get up and turn this annoying thing off, because then it forces that break, right? Okay, pay attention, right? It gives me that break. When I have a bad trade, I actually get up from the computer. Like, I actually put my screensaver on, because that forces an interrupt. Like, I don't just get up while the charts are running. I make the charts disappear from the screen by Control Alt delete, put that screensaver on, and get up and walk away, do a lap of the house, come back, refocus. So
Yeah.
sometimes you got to do things like that'll help you. Just whatever you need to do. Some people literally have a punching bag, right? Go hit the punching bag a couple times, get that frustration out. That's more of a guy thing than a girl thing. We usually like to punch things when we get angry. So, but physical activity is good, right? Because you change things up a little bit. Lift weights. Look, I've got right here for when I need them. Look, sometimes you just do a couple arm curls, something that you need just to physically change the scenario. So
Yeah.
again, I've got all of these tricks that I use over time. So you got to use whatever works. And I find I've been doing this long enough. I need lots of tricks, because if you do the same thing too long, it loses its effectiveness. So,
Yeah.
I've got all sorts of little tips and tricks around here. I have a little kid's tambourine that sometimes I use because I find it very shrill and annoying to use. So I use that to interrupt my mental thought process. Sounds crazy, doesn't it, all this stuff? But I find that it works.
Yeah.
My alarms.
I agree.
Right? Here's another way I change
10:30.
things.
You mentioned something really good, man, that I 100% agree with. It's the journal, right? So this is my journal. This is back in January 2018. We're going back here. So this is a sample. There's a picture here of how I used to journal. Just on OneNote. Look at this. Andrew's 11 rules, 7 fundamentals. This is going back when I was actually studying and taking notes. This is my first month trading live, right? And you can see here, I was copying the exact strategy, right? Opening range breakup. Like, what were you trading before even the actual results? I agree with that, because sometimes you look at something and say, oh yeah, I took it, oh, that looks like an ABCD pattern. No, it's not. You're just saying it now because that's what it came out to be, right? But you got to identify what strategy you traded, long, all the details, what I did well, what needs to be improved, so you're going to have that in every trade. And then at the end of the week, I don't have it here, but in the weekly, if you click on this, I'll take the top of what I need to improve, the top 3 things, and then next week I'll work on improving those, right? So you mentioned physical, right? Track how do you feel physically, mentally, right? So kind of put all this stuff on here. Hey, I went to the gym, got my routine in, or I woke up late. I used to do this, on a regular basis. 3 sessions, 1, 2, 3, and then screenshots. Screenshots are key, man, because screenshots, I think, show you exactly the way you look at your setup, and not the way the numbers, right? You want you to look at numbers in the way they reflect, like what does the actual setup show here. So yeah, very simple, a lot of work. This is a lot of work, and the more you trade the more work you're going to have, but man, it is so helpful. You have to do this, so it's going to help you a ton.
There you go. Last thing I would advise you against that on the journaling: when you least want to do it is when it's most important. Usually that's the days when you've overtraded or when you're in a big red position, right? When you're really, especially if you've done both, if you've overtraded, right, and you've lost a lot of money, that's the last time you want to journal. You don't want to review those trades. You just want it to be over. Just stop the pain, right? You're going to learn most from those days. So don't ignore it on those days. Even if sometimes what I have to do is I just take a bunch of screenshots and then I walk away and I'll put the commentary afterwards. But go back to it, right? While it's fresh, but sometimes you need to wait till the market closed. The markets are done. You're not tempted to trade anymore. You can sort of, for me, that helps with the frustration level. But yeah, still do it. Do it especially on those days, because you're going to learn most. Because this whole conversation started with someone asking, well, when I have a big mental breakdown or I act poorly, how do you recover from that? Forcing yourself to sort of face the truth of what you did, write it down, write it out. And as I said, try and dispassionately analyze it. All right, so what do you learn from that? What caused the behavior, and what can I do differently to moderate the behavior? It's very easy to say this. It's very difficult to do. I've been working on it for years, and I'm still working on it. I think every trader, it's a never-ending journey, right? Because different things affect you at different times.
Yep. Yep.
And your trading changes, your size changes, your approach to the market changes, the markets themselves change. Like it's not the same. There's no two trades that look alike. So even if you're looking to trade the same strategy all the time, you got to stay focused on this stuff because it's a changing environment. I mean, this Tesla trade for me, for example, it's like this is not the type of trade I typically make. It was sort of my lightning bolt pattern as it broke through the VWAP. And now I'm just sitting in it. So before I would have been parceling like every time it made a little blip down. It took me a long time to get to the point where my last partial was like 30 minutes ago. I'm just waiting. It's either going to come back up and stop me out, or it's going to break down. It hasn't really done anything wrong. It hasn't done anything right, based on what I want it to do. But it's just moving. And to me, if I can stand back from it and I'm looking at it, like Carlos has got a good 1 minute chart here. It is setting lower highs on Tesla, and lower lows. So it looks like it's slowly edging its way down. I'm waiting for a breakdown. So
Yeah.
and to the question was just asked, do I still journal? Absolutely, every single day. I find it because you never know when it's going to be valuable, and I don't review it as often or as religiously as I used to, but I still journal every day because I find that there's times when I want to come back to it, and I said I never know when that's going to be, so you need the notes from every day. Again, consider it like a business log or your ledger or whatever. Like it's important to have the records, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I unfortunately have not been journaling as much, unless I do something really stupid. Then I'll journal.
Are you Brian?
I thought I heard Brian too. I'm like,
Hey, I'm here.
oh, Brian,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
on
here.
VMix.
Brian.
What's up,
Just
man?
check. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
good
morning.
to see you, my friend. Good
Morning,
morning. Good
everybody.
morning. How are you today? How was your day today, man? Would love to hear.
Started out a little bit slow, but things kind of picked up here. Thor and I were talking about price action on the SPY,
Okay.
and he kind of pointed out some things that he was seeing on the futures and the ES, how they were selling into every pop. So I went short. I ended up going short SPY. With SPX options, so that worked out really well. And I shorted Tesla when it broke down through the VWAP around 10 o'clock. That was a nice trade.
Yep. I just turned on the. By
So
the way, I just
yeah,
turned on the sound in the chat room. So our chat room, you should be getting the sound. Just confirm you have it. I see my screen says it's sharing here. Can you guys see my screen or no? It says it's sharing, so hopefully you can see it over in our chat.
there goes
Gotcha. Yes.
Nvidia's
Okay,
kind
good.
of
So we got good confirmation there.
Nvidia's kind of rolling over. AMD's kind of rolling over right now.
Yeah. Yep, I see that.
All right. Well,
Looks like Qs are retesting, or SPY's retesting low day low. Well, yeah, Nvidia's lost the VWAP. Peter, you're still short Tesla.
yes, sir.
Nice.
Still waiting for it to break
there
down
goes
here again.
there goes Nvidia.
We got a new lower low on Tesla, but not by much. So here we go.
Nvidia is really looking good for a short here. Dropping.
A little late to chase this, but
Here we go. Lost. We're getting down to the low of day here on Nvidia. Some big orders at 103 and 102, 101. Wow, these SPX puts are going up again. They're at $50 now.
here we go.
The 5480s. Wow. So you look at that bounce on Nvidia right at near low of the day, low pre-market, low the open price, sort of right in that range there, right where you would
Total random
expect
aside,
it.
I bought train tickets in France yesterday. Why do they have to make it so
Ah,
confusing? Just like, why can't I just buy a ticket for the train that I want? Instead, you got to buy a pass. You got to figure out what size or length of pass you need. Then you got to buy a seat for the train. Anyways,
oh,
just sell me a ticket for the damn train. Ugh.
just
Interesting.
let me go.
Yeah. Anyways,
Where you headed?
well, I've got to get from
Paris
Paris
to.
down to Biarritz. So
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm gonna hop off. Is Brian? Is Andrew coming? He's gonna join you, or he's out to the
I
mountains?
don't know. I know he's is he at Whistler? Is he up in Whistler?
yeah, it
Yeah,
looked
he
like
is.
he
I think
Yeah.
was.
he was going to go
Just
there.
wondering. Yeah,
He did say he was going.
it's part of the European experience. Well, I'm getting the European experience then.
That's right.
And
His
they
trade.
even make it more difficult because you can buy like a first or second class pass. Then you got to buy a first or second class ticket. So I bought the second class pass, and then I go to buy the ticket, and there was no second class tickets left. So then I got to go back and refund that and get a first class pass so I can buy
Uh-oh.
first class tickets
No,
just to be able
no,
to get on the
come
train.
on.
Like it was
Oh my
just,
God.
Nah,
Seriously?
nah, nah.
but they would,
You're
but you
doing
couldn't
something
buy the
wrong,
ticket
Peter.
for the train until you had the pass. So,
No, you
anyways,
got to be doing something wrong. No, it's no way.
oh,
Because if you're doing that right, that is ridiculous. Like in this day and age, come on, get it together.
I know. And then the app kept failing, so I had to use a browser because the app wouldn't work.
Oh
Anyways,
man,
it was very frustrating last night. It took me.
WTF and not the ticker, I'll tell you.
Deesh is saying, yeah, he's doing it right. I guess it just is that complicated.
Oh
All
no.
right.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. Anyways, you know what? It's first world problems, right? Like I got nothing to complain
Yeah,
about.
it's
I'm going
true.
to France.
Very true.
But it's anyways, I'm talking to distract myself so I don't I'm tempted to take a partial here at Tesla, but I said I wasn't until we got a little bit lower. I wanted to get down to 364, so I'm going to try and hold here. So yeah, see, look what we were just talking about, guys. Tricks, right? This is one of my tricks. I waste your time talking about things that have nothing to do with trading, so that I don't, go and get out of a trade when I'm not supposed to. Nvidia, Nvidia is holding down here at 104, although looks like it's bouncing a little bit. So Eamon, everybody knows Eamon from the chat room. Eamon's like, he sends us this random note this morning.
Yeah,
He's
it's
like,
very
yeah, I need
interesting.
some help, guys. Can someone help cover me? I'm stuck at the police station. We're like, what? And that's it. That's all he put. And I'm like, what?
I
Yeah.
heard
Huh?
I heard that Putin is conscripting another 160,000 men to go fight on the front line there. So maybe he's been conscripted.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. But then he just sent me a message a few minutes ago and said, hey, I'm at the station trying to fill out some paper. There's some paperwork he has to submit every year. And, it's just taking a while. He's been there all day. Got there at 9 a.m. It's 5 o'clock p.m. and he's still there. So clearly Russian bureaucracy is about as efficient as every other government bureaucracy in the world. And he's had to spend the whole
He's
day.
saying they're as good as the train booking thing.
Oh,
Indeed.
man.
I hope, Deesh, that's
Oh,
my wife would be very angry if I bought the wrong train ticket. I'm pretty sure I got it all right now, but you just had to buy a Euro pass. Uh, you have to buy a Euro pass, but again, I had to buy a Euro pass, but I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving France. So, anyways,
no.
Uh,
I like once you get on the train, it's a nice experience. I love traveling by train. the the Japanese traveling by train in Japan is an absolute amazing experience. Anybody ever gets a chance to do that? So these bullet trains going like 100 and or 300 and 330 miles kilometers an hour. Peter's still holding his Tesla position.
yep.
It's definitely some weakness in the market. It's not really flushing, but we just don't seem to have any buyers right now. Nvidia slowly leaking away here. We're down to pre-market low, so probably an area where we'll see some support maybe. Now there goes a SPY.
Tesla. Somebody's taking a short in Tesla. Tesla, we're just breaking through this low of day finally. So, taking that partial. Look at
There you
that.
go.
I managed to wait and I got my target. So, beauty. Feel, see,
Good deal.
that makes you feel real happy. Stick to your rules. Sometimes you get paid for it. Beauty, beauty, beauty.
You picked that level that was a low of the pre-market,
Yeah, just
263.
around 920 when we hit that level. That's what I was looking for. Yep.
Wow, Q's at the low of the pre-market too here right now. It's actually gone a little past there. Meta is really getting slammed today. There goes Tesla, Nvidia. Can I eat into these 103s, 103 liquidity? AMD rolling over. I know Thor was holding a short on that one. Well, Meta keeps testing this 1537 level. So tested it once, twice, three times, four times. Bounces
Four
off it.
times a lady.
Four times a lady. All right, how's everyone doing out there on YouTube land? Short PLTR, nice, nice. It seems to be breaking down a bit. PLTR seems to have a little bit more cachet than some of the other stocks. Like AMD is really selling off here. Here we go. We got into that 103 level on Nvidia, and it just keeps going down and down. Got to be a bounce here somewhere, do you think? Maybe we'll get a bit of a bounce here on the SPY. Qs continue to sell off here. $243 on Tesla. Let's take a boo. Certainly not going to go there today. There's yesterday's low was around 260. There's a gap fill there at around 235. No, wait a sec. 249, 240, yeah, 249-ish gap fill. And then maybe you get to 235, but there's a lot of, I don't know, a lot of wood to chop to get down there. Wow, Nvidia's really leaking off here now.
Yeah, it's selling off heavily now. Yeah, good call
Yeah,
on that, Brian. Did you end up taking it? You
yeah,
called it.
yeah, I did. I took a few puts on it, just
All right.
this the 104 puts, 103 puts.
For everybody in the chat room, just be aware that I had a couple of changes of schedule here today, with Eamon being stuck with his administrative paperwork. Jared's going to be doing his options in the chat room at noon, so everybody gets to benefit from that options discussion.
That'll be good. And yeah, if you're curious about options as well, I've got a book about options. It's available on Amazon. It's called How to Trade Options, and that's just look for my name, Brian Peasant. Peter, it was good to see you as always.
Yeah.
In Vancouver. Everybody
You
had a
chose
good
not to go to
time.
Whistler to go skiing with the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I had some stuff to do that I needed to do here. So,
I understand. I had to get back here to get some stuff done too. So,
and and you weren't going to be there, and Thor wasn't going to be there, and you know,
well, yeah,
the,
we did
the
have to
real
get back
people,
to
the
work
people that
eventually,
really,
right?
yeah, exactly. The people that really drive the party,
I don't know about that. There's some good party animals, but I don't. Everybody's got a different way of partying too, so
Yes.
let them do their thing. Silverbacks, BBT. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get a bit of buying here, I think. At least some support here, I would think. getting pretty extended from some moving averages on NVIDIA anyway. But yeah, SPY just keeps selling off here. Wow.
All right. Yeah, I maybe I should have held on here on Tesla, but I hit my target, and I sort of went all out at that target, but we're now lower, but
Yeah, it's
almost $2.
still, well, you just never know, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
I
Again, I
think,
did what I said I was
yeah,
going to do. Very happy with that.
I think Amazon, did you just trade the shares or did you trade options?
Oh no, I just traded the shares.
Okay.
Okay, keep it simple, man.
Yeah, Amazon seems to be trying to find a bottom here.
Amazon, oh yeah, took a little bounce. No volume really on that bounce though.
No.
Apple's sort of been weird
Yeah, what's
today.
Apple doing? Wow, Apple's down 9% today. Wow.
Yeah, pretty much all of that was
I guess,
pre-market. I mean, it's only down a little bit from where it opened, but yeah,
yes.
it's
Well,
just been weird,
9%
right?
from yesterday.
Yeah, pretty choppy at the open, and then a big drop, and then it recovered all of that drop, and now it's giving it back again. So just strange.
I think obviously people are a little bit concerned about what's going to happen. What's going to happen next?
Hmm.
There's your bounce. Exactly what I was saying here. There's your bounce on Nvidia. Here's your bounce on Tesla. So I was saying, getting a little oversold here. There's some AMD bouncing.
Hmm. Some volume, some good
Just
volume at
remember,
the low here on Nvidia. So that
yeah,
to me is a good sign that the bounce might be sustainable. We'll see. Almost almost a mountain pass down there. It did hit. It sort of retested. Yeah, not quite enough. Not a big enough pattern for me to have taken it as a mountain pass reversal on Nvidia, but we'll see. We'll see if I missed a great opportunity on that.
wow. Microsoft only down about 2.7%. That's not
Mhm.
bad compared to some of these
Yeah.
others.
Microsoft's
Alphabet
another one
down
that had
4.
very
Yeah,
strange price action at the open where it popped up right before the open, then sold it all off after the open, right like to the exact same level, and then slowly recovered it, and then now is slowly selling it off again. Like it's a little
yeah.
it's odd. All right, Nvidia, what are you gonna do here?
Hmm. Well, getting a nice little bounce here on Nvidia.
Nvidia looks strange. There's a bunch of orders on the bid side, more so than on the ask, but it's still moving up.
Well, yeah. When I look at, I'm looking at Bookmap on Nvidia. It's all there's nothing. No pools of liquidity. No orders. No orders above where we are on price.
Hmm.
All the liquidity is still below where we're trading now.
Oh yeah, I see
It doesn't
that on
necessarily
your.
mean we're going there. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going there, but we're getting We're right at the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart here on NVIDIA. So this is an area where I always look for a rejection.
Just move this over here just to show, since we're talking about it, just quickly. I don't have the ability to change the screen. Carlos would have to do that. But in my little camera here, at least you can bloop. There's the book map on NVIDIA. And there he is. He's listening. And as he said, right, you can see that there's no topside orders. You can see these orders 102, 101, 100 has got a ton of orders sitting at, which makes sense, right? Big whole dollar number. So, yeah, and nothing to the top side.
Here we go. So, just shorted NVIDIA off that 9 EMA 2-minute chart. Just what I expected. Now we're heading down again. All right, just traded the 103 puts on that, so had a nice move from 180 to $2. Haul out of them because I'm not sure if we're going to make a higher low here now. This, if we do make a higher low and get through the 9, could be some good indication that maybe we're finally finding a bit of a bottom here. Again, you don't want to be grabbing a falling knife, but maybe we're maybe that higher low is an indication we could be seeing some kind of bottoming pattern. Again, I would say that definitely rallies are considered suspect at this time, especially today. Yeah, Nike. Yeah, some of these consumer discretionary ones, I know, like Lululemon was really getting killed today. It's I don't trade.
11 o'clock, so I'm gonna disconnect from the chat room. We're gonna continue with Paris. He's on deck, and then
okay.
Brian and Peter will be back in the morning.
For sure. Thank you, Carlos. And thank you everyone out of YouTube. If you had a good morning, give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Always appreciate that. And yeah, Peter sounds like he gave you a really good trade on Tesla. Gave you good trades on some NVIDIA. So
that was funny.
Yeah. That's it, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. What's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Friday. It's a Friday, isn't it? God,
yes,
thank God for the weekend. Gonna need a break after this.
Random sharing. I just got a phone call. I got a phone call from somebody that said, "Hey, I'm trying to make a delivery because I ordered something. I'm trying to make a delivery here, and do you know what floor I'm delivering to?" And I'm like, "I honestly have no idea. To be honest, it's someone's house I've never been to." And they're like, "Because I've got a head injury. I'm the delivery driver, and I've got a head injury, and I can't climb floors. I get dizzy." And my first thought is, should you be driving? If you got a head injury and you can't climb floors, should you be driving a truck? Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Hopefully it's one of those full self-driving trucks.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to ask. Just you make my delivery. Can I call the person that we're delivering to? I'm like, you better call them because I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's going to Jared. So Jared, if you're listening, you're going to get a call from a delivery driver.
Yeah. So get off. He's going to have to come down from his penthouse apartment.
Yeah, well, they're like, "What floor is this on?" I'm like, honestly, I have no clue. I don't know. So
that's funny.
I thought that was very funny. Like, anyways, all right.
Yeah. It's all
You
right.
do you.
Well, good. Take care, everybody, and we'll catch y'all
Why
later.
doesn't he know that? Kevin, I'm not saying that
And,
Jared
yeah.
doesn't know what floor he lives on. I'm saying I don't. Anyways, take care, everybody. Badass.
Hey,
Guess
Peter,
what
right.
I said today, Paris? Actually, I haven't said it even. You know what? I missed the opportunity. But I love you, Tesla.
I love you, Tesla.
I had a great short on Tesla from the VWAP all the way down here. Good. I got a
That
$7
is
move
amazing.
before I
I
got out.
saw that. And what
It's
a
great.
trade you took. That was amazing.
Yeah. So, you are you back home? You didn't go skiing.
No, I did not. I'm back home.
All right. Well, enjoy. I'm going to go get some breakfast because I'm starving. So I'll let you take over. Have a good one.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Have fun. Always love meeting you.
Oh,
Such an
always
amazing
fantastic,
guy,
my
Peter.
friend.
Such an amazing guy. Awesome. Have a good, nice breakfast, Peter. Take care. I'll take it from here. Uh, let's see where.
Do this 7 minutes a day until May.
How is everybody on YouTube? When in doubt, shop. I traded Nvidia, to be honest, and I'm still in Nvidia. I did not have a good run on Tesla. I did try though, but I was uh, biased on the long side on Tesla, but never changed the bias. So Nvidia is making new lows, which is good. I'm currently short Nvidia from 104.69, and I think 102 is definitely possible, and 101 too. So let me. Rahul, yes, good to meet you as well. Very nice. Okay, so Nvidia breaking out on the downside, very nice. Let's sell some even more. Let's buy this. I wanted to go. Okay, it's trying to bounce here. But I traded Nvidia a lot today and was stuck in the chop at the open. And the big picture, I think one of the topic that I considered on this thing today is one of those markets where it was gapped down by a lot. So from a big picture context, there are two ways that usually can happen when things are like it rallies at the open and then sells off all day. But today, being at the first day of the sell news, I was thinking it's going to sell off very aggressively because of the panic sell and then rally it later part of the day. But now it's the other and the one that you rally on the open and then sell off at the later part of the day, that's actually more worse than the oh nice. Love you, man, Nvidia. Okay, covering some Nvidia. Uh, so and this is more worse. This is more this is gonna be like can continue selling off all day today, but this part of the price action is more worse than the one that I was thinking. I was thinking that it would sell off very aggressively at the open and then bounce and try to buy back at the later part of the day. But it is the other way around, and I was open to it. And that's why I was like, if you look at my chart, let me bring up the Epic Pen, it would be much easier. So if you look at it, and this is a part of risk management, guys. Like this is like you would see a lot of things, but you would, if you look at it, so this was my first trade. took a short right here, was trying to for a bounce, looking for a rejection to VWAP, took a short, it dropped, and then it dropped and then was back at break even. So I just cut it out because the buying pressure was at the open. The momentum is so quick that it could very quickly squeeze you out. So that was my first trade. Second trade was on the long side. And when I see that thing and try to come back, I was like, okay, now it's gonna squeeze to the upside and we'll find some sellers later. But currently it's more looking very bullish. So I went long here at this point, popped up to 105, very quickly rejected. The rejection was very quick and I got out. And this was another long. I tried to cut my size here, completely got out here, and then got back in at this point. So when I did that, so this is where I was trying to manage. So I was taking profits and adding more right here, and then cutting my size, adding back in, and this is where I got aggressively add because what I want to see is when it tries to pop up, right, it very quickly goes squeezes to the upside. But it wasn't. But then it kept going in and out just to manage my position. And then now this was the move that I was looking for. Very quickly popped up over 105, pulled back at 105, added more for looking for another 106. It popped up, but then stopped me out at break even because when it rallies like that, I want to see a continuation to the upside. I don't give a lot of room for it to go against me when it is away from the price. That is already moved away from the price. So I stopped out at break even. So that was, even though like I was getting in, getting out, I wasn't losing much money. Like this was the losses that I had at cutting sizes right here at these areas. I was able to bring it back after these scale out. So I wasn't making money, I wasn't losing money. But then I was like, okay, my thesis is now flipped. I do not see that the buyers are trying to get in. So now I'm trying to short it. Now I'm trying to short at the area. So this is the short, and I cover, cut my break even at the break even, cut my tier 1 size, and then took some profits, added more, and then got squeezed out and it's stopped out. So this was a loss for me. So I tried to manage my position, but it very quickly squeezed out. I was thinking it would break 104.69 because 104.69 was a buyer. And it kept buying. But I was like, the way the selling pressure was taking over, I was like, okay, now 104.69 is going to break to the downside. And then when it squeezed me, I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch it until it comes to 104.69. I didn't know 104.69 wasn't a level before, but it was through the tape that I was able to figure out the 104.69 was a level. And then when it goes against, now since I was short biased, now this is the trade that's actually that really worked for me, was 104.69, exact same area when it tried to drop, and then I'm not trying to scale out. So this is like a already a $3 drop on there. And now I'm looking for 102 was a bounce. 102 was a very good bounce. So now it's the stock is actually bouncing. Now if it's this is a very strong bounce. So if now it any pullback it gives me, I'll try to get out of a position. So this is a confirmation that the stock is trying to if this is a bounce and it's trying to look for a bounce. And now any weakness, I will try to get out of my position completely. So that was NVIDIA. I took a few trades on Tesla as well, all long side, but none of them really worked for me. On the long side, so here I was both on NVIDIA and Tesla. I was open at the open. I was trying to short bias because it rallies and then sells off. But then after this really pull back and try to bounce here, then my conviction was more on the long bias on Tesla. So I tried to long it, cut my size. Sorry, this was completely out. Then tried to long it again here for a higher squeeze. Tried to long it here. It was trying to hold this level 267, but it never, it never. As soon as it broke out, I completely got exit. So now the speeder is carrying that really nice shot on the short side from VWAP right here. So that was a very good shot. So yeah, so I was traded NVIDIA and Tesla today. So nothing crazy on the other side. Green on the day, but yesterday was one of my I got home. I had a flight yesterday, and I came home around 1 p.m. So I did not trade, but yesterday when I was waiting for the news to come in on this thing, on the Trump tariff news, and I took a short after the post market. So this was my short right here. Uh, this is the short, and I got a really like from 288 bar to 280, close to a 20-point move on Tesla yesterday. So that turned out to be a really, really good trade yesterday. So I was very happy with the way it turned out. So that was Tesla. And now currently Nvidia is looking for, yeah, now Nvidia is looking for a bounce. Let's see what it does here. No, Carl, I think previous experience does apply. I have like when I first traded, when a SPY gaps down so much, if you look at the past, when during the COVID time, when the SPY was gapped down similar to this approach, it sold off and even halted at that day. And I was thinking that okay, yes, COVID is of course it's a different context altogether. I wasn't expecting to halt on something like that today, but I was thinking that there would be the impact was already gapped down, and then the people who were not able to get out in the pre-market or the post-market, they will have to panic sell on this day. So that's why, previous context does matter. There were only two ways I was thinking that that could happen. It could have easily been like I would have easily thought a different way of trending or on the either side, but I was actually open to both bias that it can rally at the first place and then sell off all day, and then or sell off at the open very aggressively and then bounce later in the day. So that's like pull back on the later of the day, not completely bounce. So Nvidia is trying to hold here. So I'm getting all out at this point, guys. I think, yeah, I'm getting all out, guys. I'm getting all out on Nvidia. Yeah, this is like, this is now it's trying to hold for a bounce. And this is usually my exit areas too, because I see these moving averages trying to converge and all of that. They're reference points, but they tend to overlap. You see that? Now it's like trying to bounce on this thing. So, guys, people who ever joined in Vancouver, what an event it was, guys. Very humbled, very grateful to be able to get that opportunity to present and showcase uh, at the event. And such a great human beings, guys. Every single person I met, and every single person had its own story, their own struggles, and very, very genuine, grateful people to meet with. Like a lot of times we are like interacting with a lot of people online and through emails and the chat and everything, but that personal connection or people when you meet face to face, it's a whole uh new experience, and you get much more than just the trading part, right? You get much more on what your struggles have been, what your like things are. People are going through a lot, and the resilience and the psychology during those phase and how they're handling it is uh is so beautiful to know. And so many people inspire me, guys. It's just the folks who were just attending. They're not like, yes, we are presenters, but they're far, far ahead of us. And they're far, far better than us. And it was a great learning opportunity as well. So, um, I think the energy that you get, like, is you can't express that. It's a and we had a lot of fun too. So, uh, no, thank you, uh, Eve. Thank you. So, Tenzin, I know how like to manage or how many shares to go on Nvidia or a Tesla and all of that. It's uh, I wouldn't say easy, but I'm more confident in managing my risk on Nvidia and Tesla. Uh, and today was one of those days which I knew that is going to be volatile, and I knew I have to be open to both side of trading, either upside or downside. Usually, I trade with bias, a strong bias that if I am long bias on a stock, I would not, very rare occasions, I would think of flipping it. But today's my mindset was okay, I'll let the stock and let the market tell me that if I have to short or long. Today is not the day of a catalyst of a stock that is going to move on one side. Today is the day uh, where the volatility is so much and you trade the volatility. And that mindset is really important. Sometimes when you're so biased on a mindset and you don't touch it, and it's good to have a bias, in my opinion, but today was not one of those days. And that's where you adapt to the market. That's where you adapt to the situation that, okay, today's market is not, either you trade the market or either you trade the stocks that are relate to the market. So I chose the one. Usually, a lot of people just trade the market. So, and I think today is one of those days where it's a very, very good. So now Nvidia is selling off again. So today is one of those days where the VIX is what is VIX doing? It's C at 29. Like it should be like that's a very high. Anything above 15 VIX is very high volatility, and the volatility is of course when usually there's a, and volatility index is usually the panic or the fear index, and also uh, the the index which tells you the volatility of the market 30 days out. So that's yes, Lan. I am still long Tesla. And I'm gonna like, yeah, my average is 260, and I'm even thinking of adding more. Like I even had puts for adding more on Tesla at 200. And I think Tesla is from a long-term perspective, yeah, I know it's very it's impacted a lot, very big news catalyst on China and everything, but even the bigger picture is on what is there in their pipeline. And even though these companies in the past over and over again, like when these companies tend to rally, they will rally like a boss and they will be back in a heartbeat. And when they have good fundamentals and good technicals, these short-term catalyst of people boycotting it, people, the the negative news on the tariffs and everything is going to impact, yes, but on a shorter term, they will eventually, like the tariffs and everything, yes, US is creating a tariff on Tesla and it would impact automobile industry, but Tesla has its own on factories in China too. So it's it balances out, and also the pipeline on the bigger picture standpoint is huge. SpaceX, the robots, the AI piece of it. There's a lot of in the pipeline on the big picture. So I'm very bullish on Tesla. And to be honest, like 33 to 40% of my portfolio is Tesla right now. So I'm definitely on a leverage, like very high risk, but I'm trying to manage it and hedge it through options. Like I'm still making money, but the way I'm looking at it on a longer time, I'm still very bullish on Tesla and I'm gonna hold up on Tesla. I don't plan on selling. The only time I'll plan on selling uh Tesla would be like I usually like I like Tesla overall, but I'm open to things if the character of a stock changes. And I'm open to things where uh and for a Tesla it has to prove to a lot of things that it is changing that character. The only one big reason that I would think that if somebody somebody kills Elon Musk. That's where I'll think, okay, I'll have to get out. So Nvidia is trying to bounce. Tesla is uh, Nvidia is trying to bounce. Tesla is bouncing. SCHG, what is that? SCHG, what is the stock? It's down. It's not down, not that bad though, but overall the technicals have like everything is in the market is currently is in this phase. The market, if you look at the market, this is exactly what market is doing. Exactly what I'm thinking of going long Nvidia, guys. I don't know if it's gonna hold here, but if it pulls back and pulls back to 103 below this, then I would think of going long on Nvidia. Yeah, it looks like a market chart. The SCHG, it's very similar to what market is doing. I don't know what is this SCHG all about. It's a Schwab US large cap growth, so makes sense. So yeah, it's a yeah. So it goes with the market, and I think if you're investing in a large cap stocks overall, so you are. Oh man, Nvidia popped up. I was looking for long on Nvidia. Yeah, never gave me that 103 again. But there was a buyer at 103.16 before, so that's what so 103.16 or 103.16 held again. 16 held again, it dropped. So Nvidia is at that 103 level. 103 dropped. 103 dropped. 103.95.91. 102.91. This is a good area to get in. Let's see if I see a buyer stepping in. Okay, popped. So let's see. Oh man, that was very quick pop. Let's see if it rejects again. It's a good pop. I didn't take it. It came to that area. Yes, Mox, I do watch the tape. For that, it is I'm very my entry always depends on the tape. That was a good bounce on Nvidia. Very good bounce. Anybody take that 103? I missed that move, man. Nike is actually looking for the break of high of the day. Yeah, Rahul Datta. I think here it's not about taking a breakout. Here it's about taking a reversal. So this was what I would think is going long at 103, which was close to and taking a bounce until like one of this VWAP is usually a good risk reward trade. Like going long at 103 and then taking at 104 and then see how it holds here. If it holds at a higher price, then what you want to see is look for a continuation for a breakout for 104 and then higher. But Nvidia is starting from a price action standpoint. Is Nvidia. Yeah, from a price action standpoint, if you see this started to make a higher, started to find a bottom, dropped, but then very quickly was bought back up in the channel, and then this held right here. And now what is happening is this area, 103 and 103.20 area was a very good area to go long, this area. And that's where you want to try to see, because they're trying to hold above, and now they're trying to go higher to the upside. So this is what the price action was telling me. By the way, guys, people who wanna understand the how to read the tape and how I do it day in, day out, I'm taking a webinar today at 5 p.m. EST. And it's a free webinar. Anybody can join. Uh, I think the link to the will be shared in this chat. But do join the trading terminal webinar and get exposed to what tape reading is all about. Yeah, thank you. So you Team Babel Traders just sent the message. Check out, register, and see you all at 5 p.m. EST. Do not miss out if you want to learn how to read the tape and what are the things that you look for, what to look for. Yeah, so do join the today's session. This is gonna be my first trading terminal session for the year. So do join if you can. How did you learn the ABCD price movement? Yeah, it's 5 p.m. EST, Kinga. Yeah, thank you, Alexander. How did you learn ABCD price movement? So effort over excuses, ABCD or bull flag or whatever you want to call it, that they are just the patterns, but it's basically every pattern has a psychology behind it on how the buyers and sellers are interacting. ABCD is a pattern that comes out where the buyers are strong at one point, and then there is a seller who is trying to sell a little bit, which leads to a pullback, and then the buyers step up again at the higher prices. It's usually a breakout and a continuation pattern, and that interacts with the psychology where the buyers are trying to buy and then a little bit of pullback on a lower volume and then continue higher. So Nvidia is popping up. Now it goes to 104. I think very good chance it goes to 104 now. It's currently at that breakout level. Nike is actually rallying. Nike, I had it in my watch list, but never traded it. Yeah, Nike is actually rallying. Everything is actually bouncing, to be honest. Tesla is bouncing too. So Tesla sold off this time. Guys, I'm taking a long on Tesla. I'm taking a long on Tesla. I got a bad fill, but I'm taking a long on Tesla. Let's see if it has a continuation to the upside and breaks the 267. Yeah, I got a bad fill. I tried to get in at 266.20, but I got filled at 266.60. Okay, walk pop to 267. Let's see if it has that continuation, holding that 267. Okay, somebody slammed it, but they're trying to hold it. We'll see how it goes. But 267, somebody slammed at 267. So 266.57, 50, drop to 40. So SPY is popping up. Tesla is trying to pop up too. I would have loved if my entry was 266.20, but now it's currently I'm exactly trading at break even right now. So SPY is bouncing, but Tesla is not. That's not good. Tesla should squeeze from here, to be honest. Tesla, if it pops up below 267, it could very quickly squeeze to the upside. Come on, buyers, squeeze to the upside. 267. Apple is bouncing. Nvidia is trying to grind higher. Tesla is not getting that buyers that everybody else is getting. Come on, squeeze Tesla. If that squeezes, then it can very quickly go to 270. Now it's dropping 266. Adding more on Tesla for the break of 267. That was a rejection. Okay, out, guys. Not worth it. Stopped out. It was trying to pop, but never have that continuation. Yeah, it was close to at VWAP, but usually that was the risk I was taking, that what it does at VWAP. Usually the good rule of thumb is it's gonna reject, but the way it was trying to hold and break out, I was like, okay, it can squeeze too. And I was more on the long side. If it comes back above, I might get in as well. But unless that it does that, I'm not gonna get in again. So yeah, now it's selling off. Nvidia is selling off too. But chances are it holds at a higher level and then do another breakout to the upside. Market might flush with margin calls in the afternoon sessions. Yeah, of course, that can happen. And this is the market which can sell off all day. This was a very good bounce, and now it's trying to sell off, and that would be a good big picture thesis. But if it comes back and holds above this thing, this can actually close at break even to like a doji kind of a thing. So Tesla is coming back up. Yeah, Tesla now squeezed. So now Tesla is a very good chance to squeeze. Yeah, it's gonna pop. Fuck. That was a good pop. I was thinking of getting back in again, but I just did not have that conviction. Let's see if it holds 267 now. So this could be one more rejection overall, but if it holds 267, then we could be yeah, it did not hold 267. Selling off again. And that's the whole reason I don't trust these moves. It's like you have to wait for a little bit. Now, if it holds at around this area, then you might think it would actually go higher, but it never held. Never held. The sellers keep taking over. Yeah, I agree, Neil. I think it's very choppy as well. I agree. SPY is selling off. Qs are rejected the V, both of them. Qs and SPY both rejected the VWAP. And yeah, now they are aggressively selling. Nothing looks interesting to me now. So Tesla is still trying to hold. I think Tesla has a chance to pop up. It's just that the market is selling off. So I don't want to be against it. But I'm taking one more long on I'm thinking of taking one more long on Tesla. Trying to see if it has a pop in it. I'm taking one more long on Tesla, guys. I think I'm trying to see if it has a pop to 267. So one more long on Tesla, guys. Trying to see if it has a pop. Okay, beauty. Let's see if it goes to 267. Beauty, beauty. Love you, love you. Now I'm like, okay, cool. 267 sell. So let's see if it has a this time if it has a chance to break the 267. 267 broke, 267, 25. Very nice. 25. Let's see if it has that 268 in it. So SPY is trying to bounce too. So let's see if it has 268 in it. Yeah, again 267 is getting rejected. But let's see if a SPY is trying to break that 260 the VWAP, then I think very good chance that the Tesla breaks too. So let's see 267 again. Let's see if it breaks to the upside. Two 267.16. 267.16 is the area that they're selling. If it left that 267.16 area, then oh, it lifted already. Boom, 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 boom. Very nice. Selling some more. Boom, boom. I love you, man. I love you, Tesla. Anybody take that with me, guys? Now 268 is coming too. So they rejected 267.60. Now 267 should hold. I would not like if 267 doesn't hold here. Nice, Neil. Nice, very nice. Yeah, 268, very much possible now. $267.80. Nice. Popped up, sold some. 268. Beauty. Love you. This was the move even like before I was looking at, right? This was the exact idea. But sometimes you have to still manage your risk management, guys. It's like that's the critical key. You would capture that real move, but that risk management is really important. Okay, guys, I think it's top of the hour. Let's wrap it up. I hope you have a great rest of the day. If you want to learn how to read the tape and how to pinpoint your entries and exits, how to identify them in real time, join me today at 5 p.m. EST. And if you have not been exposed to tape yet, it will blow your mind. So join me and for the training terminal. So take care, guys. Have a great rest of the day. See you guys at 5 p.m. EST in the training terminal webinar room. It's free, guys. Check that out. Okay. Yeah, join the link. The link has been shared. Okay, guys. Thank you. Carlos. I'm not sure where Carlos is. Okay. Okay, thank you, guys. I'll be done.